Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise! I hope you guys are ready. It is playoff time.
After all the hours, the weeks, the months, it's time. The journey to the grand finals rolls on.
I'm going all the way, and I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way, I'm going to another level.
Oh, what is this?
That is brutal.
This guy is an absolute maniac.
This is absolutely insane. And the rock stars of the Overwatch League continue to crank out power chords. Oh, snipe.
You got rocked.
It's the playoffs, baby. So strap in as only the best of the best remain.
I'm going all the way, I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel.
We know it won't be easy to hold that trophy, to wear that crown, but if you want it, come and get it.
It's Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our 2019 Overwatch League playoffs presented by Xfinity. And our top teams in the world march on for a spot in Philly in our grand final match. I'm Mitch Leslie, joined by Matthew Morello. And today we take a look back at our upper bracket games. Not looking to send anyone home today, but definitely one team getting closer to glory. One team having to go down and fight in the lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to send one of these teams to the winners finals, which is huge. Then you're only one game away from the grand finals. That's a tremendous achievement. We got the Vancouver Titans versus the LA Gladiators today. I think the LA Gladiators, looking back on their match with the Spark, maybe they were a bit better than we had thought.
Yeah, I mean, when we see what the Spark, the kind of damage that they've been able to do in the lower bracket now, and the fact that they've sent, obviously, the Dynasty home, and in that kind of fashion, starts to really make you think the Gladiators looking like top contenders. Today, we'll be looking at their match against the Gladiators, and later on, the rematch between the NYXL and the Atlanta Reign. That's where we're at right now. Here is our lower bracket. So the teams in these games are on their last chance. And again, if you're in the lower bracket, Matt, you have to play more games to try and get to Philly.
Yeah, you mentioned, that this the loser of this match still has another match, in that loser bracket. It would be against the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah.
So neither of these teams want to go down, face a Shock team that is motivated to try and make their way through the loser bracket, get to that grand final.
Absolutely. A lot on the line here. We've seen the Vancouver Titans come out as a little bit of a different look for us, but more importantly, Shore was an absolute standout for the Gladiators in their previous match. It was the Reaper play. Big difference maker, and we don't always see Reapers get the limelight. A lot of the time it can be the Doomfist making the big impact. But across the whole series, I'm pretty sure we gave him our Omen player of the match because he definitely earned it in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Sure on any of the damage dealers. Reaper in this meta is always a very strong player, leader for this LA Gladiator team. And I think what you saw the Gladiators do against the Spark, and I think what the Spark kind of took from that series and did against Seoul Dynasty, is they played with a lot of aggression. And I think Surefour is going to be one of the catalysts for that today.
We've also started to see a little bit of Bastion emerge into the meta if you watched yesterday's games, a little bit, so keep an eye out for that one. But Tizzy comes in to this Vancouver Titans roster at main tank position. See him playing a lot of that Orisa primarily in many of these games. And Matt, I guess there are a couple of questions about him. Last time we really saw him was what with the London Spitfire, I feel? Or
I don't even think he played for London getting picked up. But I think now that you have him in the lineup, what he provides over somebody like Bumper, who's had a tremendous season, is a lot of the worry I think we had with Bumper early on. It's like, he can play the Winston, can play the Reinhardt. What about when we needed ball? You needed to have Janu play the Wrecking Ball, Bumper switching over to the Bumzo, come bringing out the Hanzo. Now you can have a main tank come in who can come in and play all of the main tanks at a high level. It just gives you a little bit more depth.
And right now, it is Orisa pretty much all the time for a lot of these main tanks. That's just the way it is. She is very, very solid in that anchor tank position. But it's time to bring out our first team for this match. Matthew, looks like they're set behind the stage. Time to bring out the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator.
You lied. You said they were behind the stage.
Well, that's true. You're right. You got me. They are behind a stage, I guess. Everyone's sitting on the stage.
Technically, they would. I mean,
I'll take it. I mean, this team coming in now, Matt, we've never had really anything bad to say about the support line on this roster. Void looks incredible at flex. And of course, Hydration has been one of the only players in the Overwatch League that has been switching roles in between rounds, between their tank and defense position.
Yeah, he can play the Sigma at a high level, can play Doomfist as well, so maybe we'll see Decay come in, Hydration move over to that flex tank spot. But also the Gladiators, they get their first postseason win in franchise history against the Hangzhou Spark. Is that, I know, some pressure alleviated on their back
Absolutely.
there?
The way last year went, Matt, like they were happy to shake that off.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you see them play a little bit better here against Vancouver.
I mean, they're up against the best of the best, one of the toughest opponents they'll go up against in this postseason. Let's bring them out. Make some noise for the Vancouver Titans! Out they come, led by Slime, and as you can see, they are still sporting Tizzy at main tank, Matthew. It's like that's where they're going to be headed for the time being. They look very comfortable in this meta.
I mean, it worked the other day perfectly fine. Why not just run it back again? But I think Hacksaw definitely a key for this team's Doomfist is absolutely insane.
I mean, we're talking rookie of the year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have said, hey, why is he even in the MVP conversation, right? You know, why not win Rookie of the Year in the MVP? But Hacksaw has been that good throughout the season.
You don't get MVP votes for playing Brig for 3 stages,
I mean, that's true. That's true. But I think now that you see him play, you know, some of the Genji last stage, you see Doomfist this stage. You have the big Doomfist matchup between these two players, Hydration and Hacksaw today.
This is the head-to-head. Hydration was really one of the first proponents of Doomfist played at a time where he was considered by many to be a little bit underpowered, a little bit risky. Hacksaw, of course, first gaining fame on Genji and Pharah, and now the Doomfist. You can see these stats here, and both of these players are top performers in these roles. Keep an eye on the death slow for Hacksaw. Not often is he falling on Doom.
Yeah, I would say the deaths for Hydration probably just a product of the time played, how long that series was and how scrappy that series was that we saw against the Hangzhou Spark. We can take a look at the map set presented by Toyota, but I think anything around like the 5 death mark, we just Hacksaw for 44 minutes, that's pretty
5
crazy.
per 10 is, I mean, that is very, very good. I mean, once per 2 minutes is huge. Busan's going to be our first map in this series, and on the topic of Doomfist play, Matt, it definitely seems like the kind of hero you need to do more than just trade your life for a kill. You go in there, you get a kill. If you get taken out in response, it depends who you find, but it doesn't always feel as good. You have to trade up. The potential for Doomfist to get multi-kills in these fights is something that kind of requires him to be constantly outputting those eliminations.
And it's very risky when your Doomfist goes in, doesn't find one. You have to use some of the resources of the other heroes that you have
Just
available to keep the Doomfist alive, get him out, especially if the Doomfist uses a lot of those cooldowns to get in, try and make a play.
But if Doomfist hits with the Rocket Punch or any of those abilities, he's getting shield, he becomes more durable, the more work he's doing in a fight, and you snowball from there.
So let's see if we have the Vancouver Titans come out and run this Symmetra pick, as Symmetra's been up and down. They switch off it for the Reaper. So I think Reaper's the reason you haven't seen Symmetra, and I think the main reason is because Reaper's just able to live for so much longer than Symmetra. Symmetra, very squishy hero, can get killed rather easily.
There's a Reaper duel over on the left-hand side as Shawfor and Sol Min Soo size each other up. And the Vancouver Titans are the first to disengage, albeit only for a brief moment. Aggression, barrier in the way there via Orisa, and Raw goes down first. The Titans take a breather in this fight, Matt, and they're able to find the first pick.
And I think if you're the Gladiators, you'd just like to keep poking in that scenario, try and keep Roar alive at any cost, because you're getting a lot of value out of Void. I mean, he was already up to 65% towards that gravitic flux. You were able to take that fight at the corner a little bit longer. You could put some more damage down. You may have gotten that ultimate ability rather quickly, but they get the kill on Aurora. You lose a shield, you lose a lot of staying power with Orisa. Everything falls apart after that.
Now, Twilight having used Coalescence in the previous fight means that Shaz will be the only Moira player with ultimate online. Can be a big difference maker, especially those squishier targets. Hydration has to get out early at the start of the fight. Here's that Coalescence aforementioned. And Shawfor's already found Sol Min Soo. That is definitely going to force the Titans back. There was even a Meteor strike from Hacksaw to get out of trouble. They'll try and play passive, stall out on the point and get as much percent as they can here. They're going to invest a sound barrier. They realize that Sol Min Soo isn't far from returning to the fight. They get Hydration off the pick. Shawfor has to invest in the Death Blossom to keep the Gladiators on top in this fight. But now Sol Min Soo has rejoined. It's just a little too late for the Reaper to come back.
Yeah, it's Gladiators going to be able to flip this point here. Vancouver will get up to that 50%. The Coalescence good enough. The Supercharger puts them up over the top. and they're able to hold on to the sound barrier. That's huge. I know Gravitic Flux is coming online. Sound barrier, one of the best ultimates to save you against that Sigma ultimate ability. So you hold on a big goose to sound barrier for when Janu's going to use that.
Titans look a lot better if they don't use a sound barrier in that previous fight, but they thought they could commit. This time it hasn't started well either. Short 4 and hydration. Went 3, make it 4.
Hydration is going to get the credit for a lot of these kills.
5 to be exact.
The ones with the Meteor Strike are really set up by the halt that comes in from Roar. It's perfect, groups 3 players together. Hydration is able to get 2. You can see how much shield Doomfist gets with the Meteor Strike kills.
So much emotion on that face. The elation of that previous fight just showing through.
Hydration is not one to show a lot of emotion, right? Always kind of cool, calm, and collected.
Coalescence early in the fight here. That's from Shaz mostly onto the high ground to harass the Titans down before they can start to contest. Gravitic Flux online for Void and Johnny respectively. It's going to be Void going in for one first. He's stunned up in midair, but he still gets the limp. He still gets Tizzy. Haxel over to get on towards Roar, and Void just drops down. Janu drops him onto the point with the Gravitic Flux. And so Min Su able just to stay away from hydration. With that Wraith Walk, this puts the Titans back in control.
And that sound barrier that we were hyping up for the Gladiators doesn't really do much to save any of the players. I was looking at the top of the screen, it was used, didn't really see a lot of players get the effects of that, but it's a big retake here for Vancouver. Is 10%, they'll end up taking the lead.
It's like only 2 sound barriers were given out.
You have a Haxal's Meteor Strike here. Maybe you can combo it just like the Gladiators did. Get a halt in from Tizzy and then land a big kills.
Lining it up now.
Trying to find a haul.
Oh, okay, with the shield there, it's a little bit hard. Haxel just decides to drop in between the two of them and still gets away with the Orisa kill. Twilight's Coalescence there, netting them the kill on hydration. Couldn't have done too much while airborne, and this puts the Titans in 1-fight territory. They have a sound barrier now to spend. That is about it.
You do have some good ultimates coming on here for the Gladiators, so they can get to the point, get a fight, and extend it for a little bit. You'll have Supercharger, you got the Death Blossom, you're going to have your Coalescence. You have a chance to flip this if you're the Gladiators.
Haxel looking for the Lucio. Oh, he's gotten Big Goose. Not a great start for the Gladiators. They've got to recover now. High ground, Shaz has given out the Coalescence, and Short4 trying to push Tizzy down with a Death Blossom. Finally able to get to him. In the back was Min Su, but he wasn't able to get enough done with the Coalescence healing the Gladiators. So now he needs to turn his attention to the big targets, and he gets himself Raw. Short4 trying to do the same into the back line, but forced out now with the Wraith Walk. And it's overtime. The Vancouver Titans are still in control. Oh, the Gravitic Flux. What goes up must come down. And that was Shaz hitting the ground. Void copping one from Haxel now, and Short4 trying to keep things alive. It'll be a Meteor Strike onto the point with a Wrecking Ball combo, but neither get there in time. And that's the first round for Vancouver.
Vancouver able to hold on at the end. It's a really difficult angle for Shaz to use that Coalescence. Because those walls are coming up on the point, he has to go to the high ground.
That's
and
random
look
as
down.
well.
Yeah, those are randomly timed. So a little bit unfortunate there for Shaz to be up there at that time. But that's the only angle he really could have taken with the Coalescence to get any type of healing out of it. But Vancouver, they do a good job just kind of jiggling around the pillar, staying alive, buying time. They're able to get that Gravitic Flux, which is pretty big at the end.
A wise man once said, sometimes it'd be like that. Here we go now into downtown. No changes for either team, really. Tried and true.
I mean, this is the meta, right? I mean, this is Doom Reaper, the double shield. Moira really like the biggest healer in this in terms of just pumping out tons of healing. Lucio really used with the speed to try and get past some of these shields, get aggressive, and that'll be a first pickoff as Haxel goes in. That's where you see how risky Doomfist is.
You don't hit your target with that rocket punch, Matt. You're out at sea.
And then also, you have the accretion, you have different moves, the halt. I always see a lot is a Doomfist go in with a seismic slam, they get hit with the halt, the animation's kind of weird, which keeps them in the air for a while.
It looks like Haxel's intended target was actually halted away from him by his teammates. So not ideal. You do want to connect that.
Which is a true DPS player, blaming everybody else.
I'm just pointing out something I saw. Coalescence coming in now from the backside. Shaz and Twilight both letting those go. This will at least allow the Vancouver Titans to get out into the open and not be forced inside that small room.
You can back out though if you're the Gladiator. You have control of the point. And, not
head
anymore.
first into an accretion. Johnny straight around the corner. Hydration. That was a prediction shot if I've ever seen one. And, well, it's going to be over awfully quickly now.
Yeah, I mean,
Stall.
he had to predict he was going to come flying around with a punch. It's usually the accretion in that kind of scenario, maybe it like ends up hitting a shield, but Hydration has the punch loaded up, walks right into the rock.
Maybe if you hear the punch, which is pretty easy to hear in game, you know, to send that rock there. Still, big brain from Johnny. Now he does have the Gravitic Flux online, as does Void. The Titans are really well situated ultimate-wise here. Gladiators have plenty to spend as well. First, we'll start with the Gravitic Flux here. That's going to hit the Titans. Sound Barrier came out though, so not a lot of damage on the drop down, and Johnny wants to push forward with one of his own now. The Gladiators sort of corral themselves into that back corner, and we do get a Sound Barrier. Big Goose actually has to hit the ground from the Gravitic Flux before the ultimate works. And Solminsu comes in with a Death Blossom! Chalk 4 up for the boy.
Now Vancouver will pass the Gladiators in terms of percentage on the point. And I find it so interesting watching this meta and just how involved and how impactful Sigma is. Now the Gravitic Flux able to force out some support ultimates there, but I think the biggest thing is just how much damage he actually puts down. Both Sigmas putting down the most damage for their teams right now, and we don't have another tank in the roster of tanks in Overwatch that's able to do that type of damage.
It is the grouping and the AoE potential of the Hyperspheres. It's a control map, so teams aren't going to play close. Meteor Strike. Solminsu gets rid of Void. Tizzy, oh, Hydration gets him 1-for-1 though. Hydration has to trade out his life. Although the Titans have lost both their DPS players, Johnny could be considered one on his own right. He can't protect himself from Shaz late in the fight. That Coalescence is shredding the weaker targets.
And Coalescence going through the shields is why you see Moira get a ton of play time, while Moira is pretty much the most impactful support right now. So we can take a look at Shaz's POV yet again as the retake comes on in. You see he's able to just provide a ton of damage, ton of healing. Nothing these players can do. They can't run from it. But back in the live game, we got a Death Blossom coming in from Surefour, trying to put some pressure here on the Vancouver Titans.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the Gladiators in control. Solminsu able to fight back in this one a little bit more though, and Surefour's in trouble. He gets run down. It's a battle of DPSs, and Shaz has to get away. It started so well. Shaz even gets Huxel on the exit kill. Oh my gosh. Death Blossom from Surefour started things up, and the Titans had to flip the point back in the meantime. Kind of annoying, a little bit risky. Teams are going to converge. The Gladiators still in control of the point now. They prevented the capture, but they lose Hydration early in the fight. He was a little bit too far away from his team shielding, but the Gladiators are still getting percentage. Solminsu wants to put a stop to it here if he can. Raw takes a faceful from the Death Blossom, and the Titans will win this fight now. They spent a fair bit on it though, just to get the point back under their control.
Yeah, they try and make it costly for the Vancouver Titans to take that point. They end up having to use their Coalescence and Death Blossom. The Gladiators, they can come in with Sound Barrier. You can kind of trade Sound Barrier for Sound Barrier, then have a free Gravitic Flux here from Void.
That has to feel good. A lot of damage potential available there. Huxel lines one up, he's stunned out of it. Has to be a Sound Barrier there to keep him alive. The Gladiators got 1-2 though. Void will have a chance to use Gravitic Flux if he's not picked up in the next couple of seconds, but Surefour went and got rid of Johnny. The problem was he was the only one the Gladiators really there. He pushed so far ahead, the rest of his team was still stuck in the middle of the map. And now Huxel is looking to chase and clean up. The Vancouver Titans bring the house down. Shaz crumples, and Big Goose won't last much longer. That should do it here on Busan. And the Titans start strong.
They put some pressure on Void and they get him really weak before that fight kicks off, and they're not able to heal him up and get him towards the point in time to use a Gravitic Flux when you have a lot of players alive. What happens is they have to go back, dedicate some healing resources to Void. You need to keep him up for that big ultimate. Other players drop on the point because of it. And Vancouver takes it. We'll see where the Gladiators take the series after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back, everybody. The Vancouver Titans are up 1-0 against the LA Gladiators. Now, I got to talk to the Vancouver Titans before this match, and they said that, you know, coming into today's match, they are very comfortable and confident, and they feel like they are going to win it for sure. Now, they have prepared well for the playoffs, and if the Titans play the way they have been practicing in scrims, they are confident that they could pull off the win. Harsh also said that Gladiator's substitution strategy, specifically with hydration, void, and decay, was very interesting. The Titans believe their key to victory today is being able to adapt accordingly to the Gladiators roster. Finally, Harsha closed out the interview by saying, quote, "The Gladiators think this will be a close match, but we feel like we are the best team." That's all I have for now, Mitch and Matt. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny. I expect you to return that shirt to my rack immediately. Historically, I mean, the Gladiators have not had much success with the Titans, Matt. It's, obviously, this is playoff Overwatch, and it's a different beast, but I tell you what, they have to be, you know, thinking back to a lot of their past matchups and going, we have to pull out all the stops here.
Yeah, the Gladiators are a team, though, that in the past, with some meta changes, have adapted rather quickly. They have players like Surefour and Hydration. You can play a lot of different things. I think the issue here is that Hydration may be your best Sigma player. It's like, are you going to play Sigma all the time? Then you lose your Doomfist. I mean, we were talking a lot about it.
Well, you have to make an official substitution to change a player's role with our current rule set. So it does telegraph
exactly what you're going to do. Well, also, if you know they bring in decay, like, you know, they lose some of the firepower they have with hydration on the Doomfist. I mean, we saw there on map number 1, one of the bright spots for the Gladiators was hydration's Doom. So you make the subs in, you move him to Sigma, you're going to lose that. You take a look at the maps yet again. So the Gladiators lose map number 1. They get to select the next map, and they will take us to King's Row.
Quite a famous map for the LA Gladiators, for those that have been fans since last year. The site of the Great Bamboozle, one of the cleverest coaching set plays that we've seen in the Overwatch League. Paid off. Happened on this very map as the Gladiators were attacked now. Unlikely we see something to that degree today.
And I mean, you take a look at the map record.
Yo, 11 and
0. Yeah, but you can't even, I mean, Vancouver, it's like when you look at like the stats on maps for like Vancouver, New York, the Shock, like they haven't lost many. So you just kind of have to pick what you're the best at in this type of scenario. There's not really a great pick out of all the picks. Maybe you've seen some stuff. We've seen Vancouver have really close games on King's Row with other teams. Obviously, they come out on top in them, but see, the Gladiators have to feel pretty strong about this map for their own selection.
They'll be on the attacking side first. And we don't see any sort of Bastion hijinks yet this series. But there may be hope later on. Hydration will be on the Doomfist once more. No role reassignment for him. Go on the flank now. Slime, keep an eye on this. He's able to sort of skate up fairly high and spot any flanks before they happen. So Hydration has to go in, detect it essentially. Throws himself into the roiling mass of bodies in this fight. Only really gives a glancing blow to Semifinals, who just backs around.
And you see how crazy it is from the Doomfist POV? As when Hydration goes in and then goes up with the uppercut, he actually shoots over at Big Goose, trying to hit any target. Not sure which team, who it is. Like, it's just mayhem when you start to go into the back line.
The lines are split now as well. Look at the positioning here. Raw on his own, essentially. Shields, 3 of them on the point. The Gladiators looked like they were using Raw as a pivot to start capturing the point, but it got overwhelmed pretty quickly. Void sitting back now. Haxel trying to stay out of line of sight, preserve his health, as his Orisa is just returning now. The ultimates about to come online here. Jazz had to fade away from that one awful fast, and Haxel had to get out too. His target was gone, and he wasn't going to get any shielding. Sound Barrier now coming out for the Vancouver Titans. Haxel again goes in. It's rinse and repeat for Doomfist until you find a big kill. Semifinals was the 1, and Surefour was the 2. And now a cleanup. Void's going to get halted upward. Hydration in trouble.
It looks like the Vancouver Titans will be able to hold on as they try and actually connect, where they use a rocket punch connection to a halt. Doesn't exactly work, but Haxel and crew able to hold on as both coalescence used early on. Twilight earns himself another one. And Moira able to pull out a ton of healing, 60% of the healing, also 22% of the overall team damage. But some good ultimates online here for the Gladiators. You can Sound Barrier this gravitic flux when it comes down, but they have to use it early to keep Roar alive.
That took a ton of damage to the entirety the Gladiators did. Coalescence now, gravitic flux gonna come up. Roar thrown into the air, a little bit of extra damage to the hyperspheres. Would have been the end of the Orisa, but Jano couldn't find it. Void's able to take Tizzy down as he lands. And now the Gladiators have a 2-player advantage. Big Goose hurls himself forward over on the point. It looks like there's a mutual knockdown between Doomfist that sealed Haxal's fate. Jano wasn't far behind.
They have to use everything there. I mean, when they have to use that sound barrier early to keep Roar alive, that's when Johnny realized, hey, I can wait a little bit longer, use this gravitic flux, maybe make an impact. But the Gladiators have enough to hold on, unlock the payload, get the point. So we're gonna see no changes here in terms of comps as we go into the second part of the map, as this is one where Doomfist can really excel in the close quarters, right? You can able to land those rocket punches, knock players into walls, kill them rather quickly.
Doomfist loves maps with right angle or L-shaped turns.
Just come flying around.
The walls are all close, no matter which way you face, really. Hydration.
Right there. I mean,
that's an easy
both
one.
Doomfist.
Gets rid of Twilight comfortably. Haxal misses the rocket punch. That's dangerous. He has to use Meteor Strike just to get out. Will he go to safety or try and find a kill? Looks like he drops in on where Solmin Su was. And the Death Blossom kill enabled him to win the 1v1 in the Reaper matchup. It's a 3v3 right now. Fourth, it's about to rejoin, but Hydration tips the scales in his team's favor.
Yeah, I was going to say you had both supports and Hydration alive for the Gladiators, and for the Titans you had Slime, Sominsu, and Janu. I was like, maybe you like this. You have a little bit staying power with the Sigma, but just gets punched straight into a wall, taken out rather quickly. So Hydration, the sports come on top that 3v3 to get the payload moving again. It's also, Vancouver, you have some players die really late in that fight. They're gonna be back just in time to be able to contest this before the Gladiators get the second point.
Yeah, there was a tactic from Lucio there. Slime getting his teammates into the fight, but they lose Haxal early again. Shore4 opens up. This could really hurt. Oh, luckily able to break line of sight. Slime skirts around the pillar, provides a sound barrier to his team now. Gravitic Flux though comes in late. A lot of damage on towards Tizzy. Hastily, the Titans heal him up with the remnants of the Coalescence from Twilight. Shields are up once more. Hydration doesn't quite connect the punch, but here comes Shore4. He gets rid of Solmin Su again. Shore4 is dominating the Titans' DPSs in the 1-to-1.
It's just a space you create with the Doomfist. Is Twilight still hanging out here? It's a space they create with the Doomfist and the Sigma that allows Shore4 to get on in, use like Teleporter, use Wraith Walk to get in and start cleaning up some of these kills. You know, we're on board with Hydration through a lot of that. You can see the seismic slams displacing players, the uppercuts getting players weak, the consistent damage from the Orisa and the Sigma. It allows the Reaper to kind of go uncontested at times.
And Shore4 got hit by a rocket punch there from Haxal, but it wasn't into a wall. That's aggressive! Twilight comes forward with the offensive Biotic Orb. The whole the Titans surge forward in a moment. They get rid of Hydration.
They were so close there, the Gladiators, to making a pretty awesome play. So I don't know if you caught it, but Roar actually got a halt on both tanks above that little outcut in the map. And then Big Goose tried to boop them up, and he got them both within about like an inch from going off the side. That could have been a massive play by Big Goose. It was a good attempt from the Gladiators trying to set that up.
Definitely known for his environmental kills. The Goose is another Coalescence from both teams. And Shore4 got blown up immediately. Twilight finding crucial kills to start the last two fights. This time though, it's from the old-fashioned, the ultimate. Supercharger now for the LA Gladiators. Not going to get much value out of it. Tizzy just removes it from the map.
May have been a little late there from the Gladiators if you felt like you wanted to use that Supercharger.
It always feels late if one of the DPS gets blown up.
Yeah, I mean, not really an opportunity. They use a Meteor Strike during that as well, so you don't have that ultimate ability. Now the Titans are starting to get a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, Twilight had to get out of that one. Didn't have to use a Fade even if he had it available. Don't know where that accretion was supposed to go for Janu. Doesn't go anywhere in particular. Solmin Su tried a Death Blossom, but didn't really find any traction. The rest of the rest of the Titans, I should say, able to follow it up pretty well. Twilight, again, always likes throwing out these aggressive Biotic Orbs when fights start to break down and he feels like his team doesn't need extra healing.
You know, both teams end up having to use their sound barriers there. It's just that the sound barrier from the Gladiators comes out a little bit earlier, allows Janu to get that Gravitic Flux off and get that extra damage down. So now the Gladiators on the attack seem to be stalled out here, as the Titans are definitely being the more aggressive team in this scenario.
The Gladiators were trying to rush the Titans there with the speed boost and Shore4 running for the Death Blossom, but that punch stopped them in their tracks. Now they got rid of Hydration. Shore4's going to have to look to try and make the play. but he's been spotted from the high ground. Void's found too, though. Tizzy and Janu both go down. Shortfall trying to chase Huxel, and he gets him, and this is turning in favor of the Gladiators now. They have the momentum and the player advantage. Payload being contested now by both supports remaining on the Titans, but losing their 2 tanks in short succession hurt them badly.
You don't even need that Death Blossom to put that fight away, so that allows Surefour to hold on to it here towards the end as they're coming out of the spawn blindly. Maybe you're able to get a big one.
Shortfall playing close here. They know he's going to be there. Doesn't make it any easier to get rid of him though. Death Blossom in that spawn door. Stay inside your room. No dessert for you either. Shortfall now going to go across the gap there, teleporting in and get aggressive on towards Tizzy, who's just trying to hold the fort. And Janu's off on that left-hand side. Gravitic Flux throws him up. Void doesn't give him a chance to get dropped down. Slime will try and contest. Meteor Strike, no. Shortfall ducks out of the way, breaks line of sight, isn't hit by the AoE damage. And Solmitsu is going to have to keep going with Tizzy here. Knocked off the payload for just long enough. The Gladiators finish. A little bit of time in the bank.
And they finish with 11 seconds on the clock. But you can see how when the Gladiators can be the aggressive team and they can cause a lot of disruption with the Doomfist in the Sigma and they get Surefour behind enemy lines and make a lot of plays. Vancouver's offense after this.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
The Vancouver Titans, especially their damage dealers, coming up absolutely second best in that round so far. Struggling, both Solminsu and Huxel. 6 final blows, 6 deaths for Solminsu. Cruising in at 1.0 KD, which is fine. But when Shortfall is 16 final blows and 4 deaths, just on his own, you know there might be something going wrong for you.
Just a lot of extra production out of Surefour, but we'll see how Solminsu will go on the offense now. As I think if you have the opportunity to be able to create space for him, and just to remind you guys, the 2018 Grand Finals Championship London skin, Spitfire skin, still available. They're not in the playoffs anymore, but they're still in the game, so you can get them now.
Winston, mate,
Still the 16.
use your brains and get the skin. It looks good. It has propellers and a mustache like Porco Rosso.
And then you can get that skin and then play Sigma. That's what your team will need.
They don't know what they need, Matt. They don't know.
Unfortunately, they don't.
Huxel, Huxel and Solminsu definitely need to get more done in this round when they come on the attacking side. Oh dear! Again, Shortfall, his 17th final blow of this map so far. Catches Huxel halfway through. He's playing a frontline role trying to intercept the Doomfist at the start of these fights. It's working.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like when they're able to, like you mentioned, when they're able to, Surefour, you get the cleanup here.
He's flat of deadlifting right now.
When they're able to get Hacksaw to have to get out of there rather quickly or take him out, Solminsu can't really go in. Like, he can't go in on his own and try and make a play. You need Hacksaw's disruption there. You need the extra damage from Janu coming around the corner. That allows you to go in as Reaper and make plays. If you're not getting that, then the Reaper just kind of has to stand there and wait.
Shaz has this coalescence ready to roll. Goes with, that's interesting, an aggressive fighting, or maybe to force the Doofus down to the low ground if he doesn't have a healer up there, but here's the coalescence. Shore4 went deep for that one, has to get out. The healing was there from Shaz. Yeah, trying to work down these shields, makes life a little bit easier. Here is the Gravitic Flux. Void needs to get someone down a half. He got Janu, that'll do, and the rock follows up. Haxal gets ruined, and it's worth bearing in mind, Gravitic Flux is not an instant kill necessarily. You need your teammates or either yourself to get those targets down to half health before they hit the ground, but that was really nicely used by Void.
I believe that's Void's our Void chant going on.
All right.
The Gladiators do have a little bit of a home field advantage, right? I mean, all the games here played the Blizzard Arena
A
in LA,
little
so,
bit, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people with Vancouver jerseys on. I mean, maybe Death Blossom around the corner here. No Hall. Yep, there it is.
Gravitic Flux may lock Shore4 up here. Got a lot of health back during Death Blossom in the sound barrier. Nicely timed from Shaz. Where did you go with your hydration? Dropping your own front line here so you can get back to the fray a little faster. Double coalescence is coming out, and there was a boot from Big Goose by the looks of things to knock the Titans away from the Orisa shield. Oh, hydration's in trouble. He's not getting out. That could cost them.
I think he thought he was going to get over the wall and actually got caught there, so not able to make it out. But yeah, Void with another Gravitic Flux.
Well, never fear, because Shore4 is here. Apparently, he gets rid of TZ, and Void removes Sominsu from that high ground. The Gladiators look so good. And they're well on track to handing the Titans their first loss on Kings Row this season.
You got 8 kills with the Gravitic Flux here from Void as he builds up that second one rather quickly. Also, you know, doing a nice job with the accretion. 6 accretion kills, those stuns, pretty massive. As you can just look at Sigma's kit overall, he has everything to be a huge impactful hero. Shore4 was waiting inside, and he gets caught out.
Yeah, he does pay for it, but they still able to trade out his kill for Sominsu. Still, it's going to be a problem now with Johnny and the rest of the team pushing through. Haxal back behind the shields, knock in towards Void, and the Titans will be able to take point A here. I mean, it cost them 3 minutes and 10 seconds, though. And Shore4, I mean, you know, you talked about him getting picked off early in that fight. He is playing very far forward. He's trying to make sure that, you know, Haxal, Sominsu can't just waddle into the back line of the Gladiators and do this work. 24 final blows. 24 final blows and 5 deaths right now.
He knows if he does not put pressure onto the back line and go in there with hydration, that Haxal and Sominsu are just going to run over them. I mean, Haxal is that good of a Doomfist, so Gladiators need to maintain this aggression. They cannot lose the point here and kind of get scared to play that aggressive again because you get picked early. You have to maintain this pressure.
Gladiators push forward here. Sominsu's going to play catch up, and he comes forward now with the Death Blossom. Meteor Strike. Never made out of that one with Great War. Oh, Shore4's going to get caught there. Sominsu went straight after him. Perhaps Sominsu is thinking about turning his attention, Matt, more towards the damage dealers like Shore4, shutting down a player who's having a vintage performance.
And Sominsu is actually pretty far behind the Gladiators there, and then once the fight kicks off, Slime ends up using Sound Barrier to keep everybody alive, and then Sominsu just teleports in to the middle of everything, gets the Death Blossom off, but this will give the Gladiators a slight advantage here, as you'll have Janu with his Gravitic Flux, you'll have Big Goose with the Sound Barrier to be able to stop that. You still have your Death Blossom. You're going to build out towards that Supercharger here, so the Gladiators with the ultimates have available should be able to get another hole.
Can Shore4 keep this performance up? Serena needs to go big in this fight. Gravitic Flux being lined up. Really getting off there. Johnny not having much success. Oh! Accretion comes in and wind drop the Death Blossom, and Johnny follows up with Hyper Spears to get rid of Shore4. But Haxal was traded out. Both teams down to DPS, and the Titans are probably ruining the loss of their Orisa right now.
The Gladiators want to win this fight and hold on to it. Hold on to these 2 big ultimates, the Coalescence and the Supercharger, and the Titans, they back out for a quick second, but looks like they're going to go back, try and speed some players back in. As they want to get another fight here. They thought they would have had a man advantage, but everybody now back in full strength here for the Gladiators.
Coalescence to start the fight. Shaz knows he's the only support with that ultimate right now. Both Superchargers taken down early. How does Roar even see what he's doing? Get that man some windscreen wipers. Void backs up, Kinetic Grasp just to soak up some of that damage, and Sominsu walks face first into Roar's minigun. Hydration chilling around the corner. He should be safe. Aggressive Biotic Orb thrown by Twilight, but he will be able to walk back.
Oh man, Roar's got to trust this team though. When he comes jumping around the corner, puts down a new shield and the Supercharger, all he's got is that Coalescence to keep him alive through everything going down on the other side of that. But 30 seconds on the clock here. Coalescence in sound barrier available for the Titans. So both support ultimates here. No support ultimates, no gravitic flux online for the Gladiators yet. The Titans should be able to get this one over the line.
We're about to enter the opposite of a sensory deprivation chamber, ladies and gentlemen. Big ultimates online.
Gladiators trying to back out of it.
Could disengage while Slime sound barrier was up. They're able to catch him with the meteor strike now. Zominsu has the strike here with the Coalescence. It can't keep hydration alive. Zominsu's able to back away, and now a sound barrier for the Gladiators, but they are thrown up, dropped down. Void looks better, but Big Goose gets in there, gets rid of Tizzy. Void gonna wrap around. Another one for the Goose, and the Titans are stumped. Zominsu trying to stay alive on the point. Slime is at least there with Twilight. They have the healers, but not the staying power. And that might be what cost them. They'll sit up proudly here on the payloaders. Tizzy tries to get there with a wrecking ball. There's going to be a teleport to the high ground here. Zominsu doesn't have Death Blossom, though. We're not sure how much he can do more than just stall. Raw supercharges down. Haxal gets to the card. Death Blossom from Shore4. Doesn't force Haxal away. Tizzy, pile driver, meteor strike. Shore4 taken down. Twilight finds another one with Bionic Orb. Are you kidding me? Tizzy is removed by Void. He's found two. But will that be enough? Zominsu pushing forward. Knocked backwards by hydration on the Doomfist. He's also close to a meteor strike. Accretion. Zominsu had to dodge the rock coming his way. Here's the strike. Zominsu's down. Slime getting cut to pieces here by the Coalescence from Shaz. He will fall. And the Gladiators make it interesting. But more importantly, it's a tied game now after Kings Row. The Titans suffered their first loss on the map this year.
And the Gladiators played that final fight perfectly. Both support ultimates for the Titans. What do? They back out. They know they have more space to let the cart come forward. They wait it out. They get some ultimates of their own. They hand the Titans their first loss on Kings Row. We'll see you in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X5 gives you the speed you need to game like a pro.
It's playoff time, baby, and this one is going to be a great one. I have a feeling after the Titans took map one, it was all the Gladiators coming up big on Kings Row to make things tied at one apiece here at the break. Welcome back, everybody. It is halftime, brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. I'm your host, Chris Puckett. We've got a very special guest on the desk today. We've got Monte Cristo alongside Brennan Sideshow, and we knew this was going to be a great battle. You have the #1 seed in the Vancouver Titans taking on the Gladiators, who shocked a lot of people in the early rounds. And today, we knew both squads had a chance, watch some film, come in prepared, and it's showing on both sides.
Yeah, we've seen actually a lot of preparation on both sides, I think. The Titans coming in quite ready for the aggression that the Gladiators are going to be running at them. And the Gladiators vice versa as well. It's clear that they've got some pocket picks in terms of what maps they want to run and the ideas of what they've got of how to run those certain maps. But I got to say, the Vancouver Titans as well, coming out swinging in this. They don't look like they're missing Bumper at all, in fact. A lot of their halts, the coordination in terms of working with that, with Tizzy on that role, it seems like he's always been there on this roster, just waiting in the sidelines.
Well, so much of this meta, as we're seeing, is a combo meta developing, which is similar to sort of last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
Because when you think about Meteor Strike, hard to hit that, but if it's being comboed with a Halt or with a Gravitic Flux, it ends up getting a lot of kills much of the time. And also we're seeing, of course, the Death Blossom being comboed with the Supercharger. So it is about setting up these cooldowns and using them in succession.
Vancouver Titans' enormous win streak on Numbani obliterated in this playoff. Vancouver Titans' win streak on Kings Road that's lasted this entire season, now obliterated in the playoffs as well. I think this just shows, though, that we're playing a totally different game.
Yeah.
This is the playoffs. It's a new meta. Anything can happen. And the LA Gladiators have looked really strong on their defense in particular. And Kings Road was no exception. Their aggressive defense catches a lot of teams off guard, even if you're ready for it.
It's very interesting, actually, to see that the Titans are kind of struggling, at least in part as well. When the Gladiators choose to go aggressively as well, even I'm taken off guard sometimes. I'm watching them, and I'm like, it's so counterintuitive to something that we've seen for quite some time. But they just seem to throw a lot of what we've knew of Overwatch, like the general game plan, the general formula, out the window, and Gladiators are playing their own game here today. It's working in spades, at least, with Kings Row.
I love it. Short4 said they had a good feeling, they had a good grasp on the meta. They seem to be sticking with their plan. And Josh, you said that's not technically going to be a great thing if they continue it all series long. What are you seeing as this match plays out?
Well, the Vancouver Titans certainly came in prepared, and they have a lot of game tape. I think the Gladiators have got one great strategy that they've figured out. That's what they think is like themselves ahead of the meta. But if you figure it out and watch the game tape, you'll be able to see the adaptations that the Titans have already made. So I've got an Insights powered by Intel where I want to review the game tape that the Titans would have had access to. So this is the Gladiators playing against the Spark. And their rough plan as they take this stretch of Eichenwald is, again, this aggressive play with their tank line. So just before they engage here, I'm going to point out what their general plan is. They're going to come forward with their tank line at the same time as Shore4 comes forward from the side, and their aim is to burst down the tank line from the Hangzhou Spark. So their main priority targets are Rhea and Gushui, particularly Gushui. But this is so late on in the series that they've made the necessary adaptations, the Hangzhou Spark. So they rotate their tank line through the side, which is going to avoid the aggression coming out from the Gladiators as they just charge up the middle. And also, they've got this player here, Godsby, who's going to teleport into their backlines. And anytime that the Gladiators are rushing up the middle, you want to try and flank them and take out their backline whilst keeping your tanks alive. So you can see that as they do it, here's Godsby in the back, who's just going to Death Blossom everybody at the backside. So both Shaz and Bugus get caught in this Death Blossom. Perfect play by him. And by the tanks rotating around the side, now Gushui and Rhea have totally managed to bypass this push up the front. And they can't focus the supports down from the Spark because they're too far back. So the timing has been absolutely perfect from the Hangzhou Spark. The problem is that you have to make these moves before the Gladiators initiate. You have to be totally ready for it. It requires lightning fast reactions and in some cases prediction of what's going to happen. But the Spark played out for a perfect team wipe here, and it's in some senses the exact strategy that you want to use to counter the LA Gladiators' aggression.
And bisecting the team is something we did see the Titans do on Control. And you have to remember that in this meta, when we have a Lucio and Moira, these are low-range healing support. So if you can get them away from the tank line, there is no healing, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to get heals from a long-range Ana. The Ana isn't there to sleep dart the Reaper. So there are a lot of reasons why you want to drive that wedge between the tank line and the supports if you can right now, because there's no healing after that.
I gotta say, though, if there was any team to do it, it would be the Titans. Think of a team that's playing at that kind of pace as well. Throughout the entirety of the season, known as one of our most aggressive teams, they are the team that should be able to do it.
If you're just joining us, we are in a double elimination tournament. We're currently in the winner's bracket semifinals. That means you win here, you're guaranteed top 3. That means it's crunch time. Cheesy Grooves, here we go, crunch time. Guys, we got to talk about some impact players. We highlighted them before the show. Shore4, the Canadian, leading the team once again on Reaper. And Josh, backstage, you said, I think Reaper might be his greatest hero. He used to be sick on Widow. We've seen so many different heroes played by this versatile player. Why is he so good on Reaper?
I think it's a role that allows him to guide the team. He can play everybody around him. He doesn't have to worry about going out on his own too much. He's got all of the team's resources, and his aim and his positioning are really good on this hero. Just has a great understanding of how to get the best out of it.
It's definitely a hero that really suits him for the reasons you brought out there. And I cannot think of a better hero than Reaper that really excels with the team support.
Oh, man.
And look at the metrics he's leading in. It's like he was made for this hero right now. The most impressive thing about Surefour, though, is his ability to play every single hero under the sun, it feels like, as well. Remember last year, he won the Widowmaker 1v1 that we had. He was one of the, I mean, definitively, I guess you could say, one of the best Widowmakers we had in the league by that metric. But here, he's just doing it again on Reaper, and it is a big part due to the fact that he's being supported by his team in-game and out-game, I'm assuming, as well. I'm assuming they get along with each other. I don't want to pretend that they don't.
Well, we knew that the Gladiators had to adapt to the Spark in their last matchup. That one went to a Game 7. Vancouver Titans always known for adapting to their opponent's play style. Knowing that we could have 5 more maps, guys, who has the edge right now?
I think the later this series goes on, the more it's going to look like Titans get a grip with the way Gladiators are playing. So I think it's really important that Gladiators try and close out the series as early as possible. Whether they're going to be able to do that, I'm not too sure. It comes down to the prep they've done on certain maps, because remember, it's going to be now the Titans map pick, which could be huge for them.
Vancouver Titans have only ever picked one assault map in the postseason. It was Horizon, and they lost it. So they've actually got to improve from there. Anubis is going to be a great one for Gladiators as well. So this one's really important.
Gladiators are the underdogs. Blizzard Arena, do you have faith in your team? Make some noise. We're going to break. When we come back, it's Game 3 of the semifinals. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. They're not Pringles.
Tied game here at the Blizzard Arena between the Vancouver Titans and the Los Angeles Gladiators. LA, they elect to choose Kings Row for their second map, and they look honestly a lot better. I mean, we mentioned the Flutter deadlifts. That is when you get at least half of your teams were the final blows. Surefour was very close to that, and at times was exceeding that. He looked excellent. Hydration didn't have to be going crazy on the Doomfist when Surefour was just so dominant.
And it's a way different meta. You take a look at the map results overall. The Titans are 11-0 on Kings Row, and you go there if you're the Gladiators because you feel like it's a strong map. Roll lock, the new hero balance changes, way different game than
Win-loss
was
over a
the
whole
year.
season doesn't really matter.
No, so they go to King's Row, they're able to win it. So when you take a look at the maps, I believe the next map will be the Temple of Anubis, so this is the Vancouver Titans pick. No substitutions for either team. So we haven't seen Decay yet for the Gladiators. The Titans don't really expect any changes really with what they're running.
This map is actually a doozy for many teams in the Overwatch League. For example, Shanghai always have had problems on this map. And a few other teams just really don't get the Ws. The Gladiators are not one of those teams, though.
This map is just unforgiving. You can get snowballed really quick on Anubis. You can also get full health rather easily.
It's hard.
So, the one thing it does force you to do is it's way harder, I think, on defense now if you're gonna try and play the Doom Reaper in the mirror. Like, there's so many areas where you can flank if you're the offensive side, coming through these chokes, getting high ground. It's really difficult to do that if you're the Gladiators here on defense without making yourself really vulnerable to getting picked off.
Axel's trying to approach now. I mean, he's being very tentative. He doesn't want to remain in the midst of the enemy team for any longer than he otherwise has to. Accretion! Connection from Void. And Shawfall cleans him up. Void has had a fantastic first fight.
You know, you keep hitting those accretions on Hacksaw. They focus him down quickly. It's a lot like what we were talking about during King's Row, where if Hacksaw gets taken out, no tremendous Doomfist player, he gets taken out. You also lose the ability to have Somitsu go into the backline on Reaper and cause a lot of problems. So Void with another accretion on the Hacksaw, able to use that Sigma ability to land that big stun.
At this level, it's certain death to get hit by accretion.
Yes, without
players
doubt.
focus fire down targets at the professional level instantly. While I'm going to go for the coalescence now, everyone's lined up for him. This is kind of perfect for a Moira player. Shawfall trying to access him in the back there, but he was cut down by the beam before he could make contact. And that is a defensive Bardic Orb pouring out there for the extra healing, and they'll chase onto the point now. Hydration. Not going to last very long at all, and just a great setup, Matt, for Vancouver.
You get the coalescence, you use it right away for the Titans. When you attack that bridge, everybody going to be lined up for the Gladiators. The Gladiators try to respond with their own coalescence. It's just a little bit late. Shaz not able to earn that ability in time to be as impactful, so that'll be the Titans who take point A. 5 minutes plus on the clock here to get towards point B. Point B, I feel like, though, on the defensive end, it's a little bit easier to run this Reaper Doom than on point A.
Well, you're not going to get poked down. It's going to be tough to get hit by accretion as well. Duck behind a lot of these pillars. Titans going to set up here. They won't push. Tizzy's shield is up, and it is. Going to go forward now. Gravitic Flux. Axile's forced to hang there, suspended. He's going to go back up again. Getting some airtime, this man. Trying to get rid of the Reaper, but oh dear, he realizes, yeah, Shawfall has a sound barrier. Does not want to face down that target. Shawfall gets caught into the hold rocket punch combo. There are so many synergies now with Orisa. Hacksaw just makes quick work of Shawfall there. The Titans speed running this map.
It's another coalescence that comes out from Twilight as Hydration will get on the point, try and get a touch. A punch from Hacksaw onto Shaz knocks him away. So the Titans able to complete with 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Great time from Vancouver.
Yeah, excellent. Especially now they can lean into a solid defense and set up this map. Should be pretty comfortable for them. We'll find out how the Gladiators go on the other side of things in just a moment.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
honestly, there really wasn't that much next level sort of insight into what Vancouver did on that first attack, Matt. First push, they set up with a really nice coalescence, worked their way through the shields. Second point is a hold into rocket punch to get a kill on a Reaper.
And they also did the same thing with the coalescence as well. You look at the two Moiras, obviously a much better half for Vancouver than for the Gladiators, but you had Twilight with 4,300 damage. That is tops on the Vancouver Titans. So he's also tops in heals of 4,800. So using the damage of Moira.
I've got all gold medals, by the way.
Combined with the healing, though, but he's able to get the coalescence 20 seconds faster. And you may say, oh, 20 seconds, so who the hell cares? 20 seconds is the difference between him and Shaz both having it on the first point, where he actually takes out a few players before Shaz is able to get it, and then Shaz is not able to get one on the second point, and Twilight is. And that's the difference in the first half.
Gladiators have a lot of ground to make up now. I mean, they'll approach with the same composition, so the same options are available to them as were to the Titans. Okay, I like that from Huxel, popping in to say hi.
Therefore is waiting at the choke, so
he might try and teleport directly onto a high ground once his team gets there.
Yeah. Or potentially seeing if there's a flank that would come in from Sominsu and then waiting. Now he gets right up onto the bridge.
Just TP straight up and on, but he gets caught by Johnny early on. Looks like they were ready for it, the Titans, but they still lose Tizzy. Hydration's in a great position now just to work down the remainders of this team and make the quick fight win in his team's favor, but Sominsu is making it hard. Finally shuts him down. Supports. Janu is there. Janu's staying alive. Hyperspheres to force back.
You don't have enough healing here for the Gladiators to push this. They still have the Moira in play, Sigma and Lucio for the Titans. So Gladiators, they're going to have to wait. Now they're going to get players back, but Haxel already back in the fight here for the Titans.
Almost lost Slime, though. He had to get out awfully fast, and Krish will slow down the Gladiators. And they're all back. Everyone's here on the point. Coalescence going to come out now from Twilight in the back line. Needs another big one like the previous round. Hydration punches forward. He was low. Accretion thrown in. Now Gravitic Flux. Almost everyone thrown up in the air. It looks like Raw was the target. Try and work him down before he hit the ground. Getting rid of Hydration and Big Goose is definitely a good start. And the Gladiators still have no point progress. Janu, lucky to be alive, goes for the kinetic grasp, but extra shielding. And the healing from Twilight will keep him standing strong.
And the Gladiators are forced to use their sound barrier because they didn't have the coalescence up at the time, and then they end up getting hit with that big gravitic flux. So the coalescence already used there in that situation. So Twilight already working towards another one at 63%. It's just the damage between him and Shaz is unreal. It seems like Twilight really relying on those damage orbs of Moira.
Here's an absurd difference.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's 7,100 to 2,700. I mean, that is a big difference. A lot of that damage also coming with the coalescence as well, but it's huge.
Twilight's going to have another coalescence soon as well. Sound Barrier came out early, so everyone's going to get dropped, and Huxel didn't have a shield to protect himself once the gravitic flux had actually activated. Now they're able to wash over the top of the Titans, overwhelming Tizzy. And they set up on the point here. Sominsu probably just TP's out. Doesn't fancy hanging around for this one.
This will be a take for the Gladiators, so they're able to get a break. What do they hold on with, though, for the next point? They had to use the Gravitic Flux. They had to use Supercharger here. You know, you could try and get a halt into a Meteor Strike. We've seen both teams do that over the course of this series to pretty good effect. That'll be a damage orb that goes in from Shaz. That's enough to earn himself the Coalescence.
Pretty safe from the Vancouver Titans. They don't spend a lot on that previous fight. It's over almost as soon as it begins.
Hydration, sure, we're trying to set something up.
Yeah, they're flanking in from the other side. Gravitic Flux. Might have been into a Meteor Strike attempt. I mean, you can get a support here. It's just huge. Slime is low. Doesn't make it. Seismic Slam from Hydration doesn't quite connect, but he gets the Rocket Punch, and Sominsu anyway, 2 for 2, but Huxel finally starting to come alive. He's had a slow start in this series, but now he's a fixture.
Hydration actually gets a punch on Sominsu as soon as he pops Death Blossom, so there's no opportunity to get anything big with that Reaper Ultimate on the point. It's just when Hydration and Sherpa went into the backline trying to make a play for the supports, they were not able to do it rather quickly. They had to double back to the point. That's when Sherpa used the Death Blossom to finish a player off or two, which was not enough to get a take, not enough to get a tick either. So now you do have the sound barrier for the Gladiators. You can use this more offensively because the Gravitic Flux is out from the Titans.
Again, the Gladiators know that they're going to be expected. Good positioning there for Sominsu. He got raw so low before the fight even began, and Slime just walked on in and buffed him. Finished the kill. No Orisa, so really once that shield's down, it's just Void protecting his team. Much easier for someone like Huxel to get into the backlines. And Hydration, yeah, I mean, it's hard for him to cross the gap without a shield to protect. That first pick was huge, and we've seen that time and time again. Reaper players hiding in that alcove next to the giant sarcophagus.
And you can't really see it from the actual game point of view. From when I look, I have the map. So what I see here is Haxel is doing a much better job of tracking Surefour. So Surefour will be on the map, like lingering in a certain area. Then as soon as Haxel realizes it, he'll make a beeline right for Surefour, try and get a punch. Then that forces Hydration to go try and help Surefour. He goes with a seismic slam, and then it allows him to take that tank fight easier.
Halt, Gravitic Flux just caught one man. Coalescence to keep them up. That's a very early use of that ultimate from Shaz. Let's see if it doesn't bite him in the rear. Meteor Strike. Twilight can't fade away right now. He was in Coalescence. He can escape here though. And Hydration found himself caught with no escape. Meteor Strike coming down, and yeah, burst damage is still lethal to Moira while she's using Coalescence. And I think that's kind of, look, you know, you mentioned about Huxel tracking Surefour.
They're not taking the bait anymore.
Yeah. You feel like if you get a punch on a Reaper, he's dead. If you don't, you can get out there with your combo.
He has to rate the way. You know he's not going to teleport in after that. And that was the real issue that the Titans had in the first half, in the games that were close, in the rounds of control that were close in Kings Row.
Well, I mean, Huxel got shut down by Surefour.
Yeah. So what they're doing now is they're doing a good job of tracking this. But look, now Surefour is going to go with the rest of the team. Let's see how this affects things.
Hold, Accretion. Oh, great boom there from Big Goose. He bought his team enough time, so none of them would have to be subject to their death blossom. He's slightly split from them right now, but he'll be given a chance to rejoin. Excellent boot. And he'll have a sound barrier coming to the next fight. 2 support ultimates to 0. Definitely favors the Gladiators here. Surefour Wraith walks. Back to the rest of his team. Doesn't get the sound barrier though. He was out of LOS. Tizzy goes down, and Twilight has another fate available. He gets away, but no. That's it for the Vancouver Titans by the looks of things. This should be a take. Gladiators able to push in, and sometimes 2 support ultimates is enough. They are close to Coalescence, Vancouver, but they lose Slime here.
You can stall this out. You're going to have the Wrecking Ball get on the point here. Tizzy will be able to contest for a little bit. Coalescence and Gravitic Flux now.
Bionic Orb coming out from Twilight, the extra damage. Gravitic Flux now being thrown to the point here, and everyone on the Titans getting all the healing they need. Oh, this has gone all wrong, but Surefour might have the chance to turn the tables here. Comes in with a Death Blossom and finds 2. Janu trying to keep him at bay with that kinetic grasp, and back behind his shields, constantly redeploying. He's burning so much time. Surefour trying to flank around and get to him, but I don't even know if even he fancies the 1v1 against the Sigma. Here's a sound barrier. The Vancouver Titans had no support ultimates. Now they have both, and it's going to keep them fortified going into the later part of this fight. Haxel's an early casualty here, and so is Tizzy. Not a great sign for Vancouver. Still with support ultimates, they struggle. Still, the Gladiators take the point. No time left on the clock, but for the Gladiators, that could have been the end of the map right there and then.
Could have been way worse for the Gladiators. It is still a very difficult situation, though. They complete the map, but no time remaining. Vancouver, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. We'll see what happens after this.
Slightly quieter Surefour on this map means that it's much tougher going for the Gladiators.
You don't even really, it's not even a difference in play of like Surefour himself. I think it's just Vancouver adjusting and not allowing Surefour to just run crazy in the back line, as Void and Hydration doing a good job trying to create the space. This time though, Vancouver tracking Surefour's movements, not able to allow him to just teleport in for free, getting him even before attacking him before he even starts the teleport. So he has to Wraith away, then he doesn't want to teleport in because you don't have the Wraith on cooldown to get out. So it creates a sequence of events where it's difficult for Surefour to put pressure.
Titans just use the experimental barrier to shield them as they walk into the side room. Somitsu goes right around the backside. Okay. Wow, he really wants to start this fight off. Now, he doesn't play too aggressively. He waits for his Orisa to move up, but look at that positioning from Tizzy. He fortifies and walks up in the face of Raw. Now Solomon Sue makes a little bit of a relocation midway through the fight, forces the fade out of Shaz, and he'll try and chase down Raw now. Oh, man. That's nicely done. Not overcommitting to anything is Solomon Sue, and they get that first big pick. And I mean, from here on out, it's pretty much done. Amplification, Matrix, and Twilight gonna make it impossible for the Gladiators to peek out.
Yeah, and they can take that fight on the bridge because they have the Batiste, they have the Immortality field to be able to push on in, fight at the point on the bridge. And that is a pretty easy point. Take just the tick there needed for Vancouver to take Anubis.
Yeah, good defense there. That's all they had to really do on offense is get it that one little take. The Gladiators got shut down, or more importantly, Shawfall was quietened. And Haxal was able to have a little bit of a better game on that Doom Fist, targeting him. We've got some more action coming at you right around the corner in this semi-final.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
마이크 테스트.
1, 2, check.
1, 2, 마이크폰 체크. 1, 2, 마이크폰 체크. Should we do a test mic?
No. In Carpe, you're too loud.
Yeah.
You're gonna shout.
Oh my god.
Let's get it.
Monkey! Let's go, Basio! We can play more together and controlling their DPS.
Yes!
What you're waiting for, but Jinmu with the triple!
Isn't enough. Jinmu! Jinmu on Doom Fist, one of those snowballing heroes. Once you hit somebody,
That's okay, guys. Just 4 maps to go.
Oh my god.
I feels like here is my home now. We lose this game. I'm going to Chengdu Hunter.
Thanks to Korea.
Still many more words to be exchanged between these teams on the stage here. It is semi-final of our upper bracket. Winner's going to go through to that winner's final, and that would be their opportunity to get to the grand finals itself. That will be huge for both of these franchises. In the first year, the Vancouver Titans have pretty much lived up to expectations, I think, Matt. Maybe exceeded them to a degree. Some people were skeptical.
So last year, the Gladiators looked very strong, as that next map will be Rialto. It's Gladiators' pick. They looked really strong going into the playoffs.
But they fell out of the playoffs in the most bizarre way we've seen.
I mean, it was tough, right? I mean, they had the whole thing with Fisher, he didn't play. You were at a little bit of a disadvantage because of that, but now this is the roster they've had all year. They're at full strength. They're putting up a pretty good fight against Vancouver. Let's see the Titans on defense. They'll come out with the Bastion setup, so Bastion, Pharah. How do the Gladiators decide to break?
Hey,
they answer
Bastion,
back with a
Pharah.
Bastion, Pharah of their own.
Nice! Both teams trying to work the Bastion on this map. We've definitely seen a lot more of it. I think back to the Atlanta Reigns filthy Horizon Lunar Colony defense with the main. That's really pushing it to the limit.
Selmansu getting low, but he's saved there by the Immortality Field. As
I mean,
you
what
put
are they
the
trying
Immortality
to
around the
achieve
corner.
really?
For which team?
What is the Gladiators trying to achieve, I guess, setting up so
Trying to
far?
burn down some of these shields here, and then you can have Hydration off to the side with the damage boost to try and put down a rocket or two, take a player out.
Okay, and Matrix, that's risky business for sure for playing in that though. It does force the Titans out of line of sight though. Look how low they are. They're forced to stand inside their own Immortality Field.
Now Hydration can get the pick. The Immortality is gone,
traded.
but he traded on out.
There's mercies
Probably
for
get
both.
res on both sides.
Yeah, Huxon isn't being tended to. Go! Concussive Blast to interrupt it. Looks like it worked. I mean, you're really not waiting much longer for Shorefall to come out of spawn anyway, in all fairness, but that's fine. Nice little play from Huxon, known for his Pharah, by the way. One of the very best. He sends a couple rocket Shorefall's way.
It's still pretty big that he breaks up the res. The res there would have been huge for some extra damage to get the cart even further around the corner. Now we can go back to the same dance we had originally, right? Both teams trying to set up, burn down some of these shields.
Zominsu with configuration tank. Shorefall has it as well. Immortality Field thrown out by both sides.
And Matrix here.
These will go down first. And just going to keep
Supercharger.
plugging away at each other. Okay, Twilight just got his Amp Matrix online now. It's almost like you're better off if you take more damage because you give more healing to your Batiste. They waited out, that Supercharger stuck around the core. The Holt doesn't catch. Raw actually fortified to make sure of it.
And the more damage, though, the riskier it is. They're trying to actually get Void here. They get him with a stun and then take him out.
It feels like so long since we've seen some quality El Presidente gameplay. Like it was only yesterday when we were seeing it.
Well, you kind of think with the double shield, like, oh yeah, double shield with Bastion, that makes a ton of sense. It also makes a ton of sense for the other side as well, because with two shields and with the way the shields work for Sigma and Orisa, it's not like you can burn these shields down with damage. They're up so frequently that you're just kind of shooting shields forever, waiting, building some ultimates, and then you have these moments of fights where the Amp Matrixes come down, the Superchargers as well.
Yeah, I mean, Huxon's the only player that can see that Immortality Field.
Oh no! I was just about to say, it is a way easier angle for Hacksaw to take the fight than for Hydration. Hydration does not care though, as he goes right inside on the high ground and gets a huge barrage. How did Vancouver not expect this?
Let's see it. I mean, they should. He's playing from here. Huxon, you think, you're kidding me. He just walks up. That is Fraggy Earth Shadow level from last year on Hollywood. Just walks up behind him. That's nasty. It's obviously brought back into the fighting, was taking him down. Oh, trying to keep that Bastion alive. Shorefall has the tank mode configuration. You actually feel like you favored, the Sentry mode in that matchup.
It's two shields he got to shoot through, and he's got to peek into the Amp Matrix.
Hey, don't worry though. Mercy's there to res. Big Gravitic Flux. Shaz will drop to this one, but just him. Shorefall's able to find 2 kills. Huxon and Tizzy.
Zominsu on the flank.
He's flanking. Oh dear! Zominsu appears in the shadows. He got one. Boy's going to use Kinetic Grasp though and get the payload across the line. That only works if Zominsu has teammates on the cart.
Yeah, so watching that I was like, he's going to flank, maybe tank mode and pick up 2-3, but his teammates die on the cart, so they're not able to contest. As we will continue with the Pharah Bastion on this map. A lot of good opportunities to set up, whether it be offense on the cart or some high ground here for the defensive teams. This Hydration with another barrage, see if he can get another good use of it off.
I will not waste this opportunity.
again, it'll just be a matter of finding the flank. You've got plenty of ways to sneak into enemy territory, especially if the high ground's not really being contested by the Titans. It's just Huxar. Oh, he's got in there. What can he do with this? 7 kills from barrages so far for Hydration. Great setup, and again, he just plays he's making on his own. He doesn't need it to be set up.
And these are the types of comps that the Gladiators would love to play. Like, you get Surefour on some wacky heroes like the Bastion. Hydration can play the Pharah, the Doom, like a lot of the kind of like Seagull-esque type of hero pool, right? You can play a little bit of everything. As you get these players on these heroes, it's very difficult, especially if you're going to try and mirror. You don't know how much time Titans have had to really get a good run of practice.
Axon needs a big one. Nice air shot on the Hydration. Oh, okay, he does notice that there is an immortality field inside that room. He needs to be careful. Does he have the healing? Nope, not enough anyway. He doesn't have the backup for the rest of his team. Has to feel bad about that. Slime stalling things out. Actually buys a pretty handy bit of time.
And it seems like the Gladiators really know the best angles to play this. They knew that Haxel had a barrage. He's had it for a very long time now, but he's not going to drop into the doorway there and play against that type of setup, as that'll be Somitsu. He does have the Ant Matrix, the immortality field, able to keep Surefour alive here.
A second later at Twilight, I mean, can't keep Somitsu alive at all. Tank configuration for both Bastions. Raw goes down first, though, when Surefour blows himself up. I mean, it's purely because of how close to him the Titans players pushed, but that is one way of dealing with Bastion.
He couldn't get out the other way because Haxel threw a Mei wall behind him. So the Haxel switched to Mei here. You were not getting great use of the Pharah towards the last part of the map. Remember the other series we casted with the Atlanta Reign and the Shock. Atlanta was able to use the Bastion on offense, get to this point, not push it over the line. And they stayed on it for a while. Now you're going to see the Gladiators switch it up. So Atlanta in that series, we know how they got it over the line. It's not with the Bastion, it was with the Shock moving away from the card. But
it was, it definitely was the Horizon Lunar Colony Bastion main setup that the Titans are going through here that really hurt the shot. Wakani field down, Twilight follows soon after. Now that was very quick, wasn't it? Look at that push in. Janu tries to keep his team alive here with a Gravitic Flux, but there's no follow-up, and that ultimate just doesn't do enough on its own. 1 minute 20 on the clock here. The Gladiators are sailing home, and they get there.
So they complete it with 1:17 in the time bank, but we've seen the Vancouver Titans push on Rialto before, and they've bounced back. Do they run the Bastion of their own on offense? Do they feel that comfortable in the strategy to do it? I think if
they have to.
If you run it on defense, I think well, look, I think if you run it on defense, you probably feel good enough to run it on the offensive side. Also, the Gladiators are probably going to run it. Like, I would be a little bit shocked if they don't run it after how much success they had on offense using it. Or maybe they feel like they can take advantage of Vancouver in this type of mirror matchup.
We're starting to see teams just try and deal with the Bastion composition by mirroring it. And it creates those odd little situations at the start of rounds like we saw here.
Just so much damage.
I mean, if Hydration doesn't go ham with 2 huge barrages,
yeah,
I mean,
they
are we still 1.5, right?
Yeah, you don't know. So,
difference maker.
Because I do think, though, as I see Grand Finals.
September 29, baby.
Be there. And if you can't be there, watch it.
Yep.
You don't have an excuse. It's everywhere.
That's where all this culminates. I mean, all these teams with their eyes set on that September 29th date.
If you're going to play this for the Gladiators, you gotta play close. I don't think you're going to be able to let this like Bastion get some space or get a setup and be able to dive it with the Reaper and the Doom.
So do you rotate left side and try and push into them?
It seems like they're gonna come speed boost over the top right here at the beginning, play up on the payload when the game starts.
Okay. Well, that's pretty reasonable. It's all about Hydration, being able to get in there. Yeah, and last round was definitely all about him. The playmaker. And he was also the one that was moving the chains when things started to slow down.
Hydration just trying to see where he can make the biggest impact. And feels like it's going into the back line, jumping onto the Sigma. He's got to be careful because that Bastion's still in there.
Raw's down. They don't have a mercy to bring him back either. So the idea of shielding now falls entirely devoid. And how are you going to protect your team from a Bastion like that? No, you're just not.
So now you wonder, do they switch? Now they're going to be able to get set up with the Bastion. Do the Gladiators switch?
Can you go to a Bastion of your own here?
Do they feel good enough to break this? The advantage of the Gladiators composition, Mitch, is that if they do break this setup, then they will be able to stay on a lot of these heroes and continue moving. So they go and they will play Mei instead of Doomfist. This allows the Mei wall to split players off, also allows to block some extra line of sight from the Bastion.
This will give Huxal an advantage in the DPS head-to-head, though. There's not much that Shawfall and Hydration can do to interact with him. Or anyone, really, for that case. You saw that attempted an accretion connection on Haxal. He is going to take this game away. He's just going to rob the Gladiators blind if they don't counter him.
You lose Roar again, though. I mean, Roar is dead basically instantly on your first defense. Then coming out there, he's killed rather quickly as he goes over to Wrecking Ball now. So they really want to try and get at least a touch here on the point.
They're not. Well, I mean, I guess they can Raw, but that amplification matrix makes life really hard. And Huxal here, that's mostly a defensive barrage, believe it or not. He knows the Gladiators are going to push into this. Solminsu's gotten one. He's gotten two now. And these big tanky bodies can't do much against the hail of rockets and bullets, respectively.
Does Roar stay on the Wrecking Ball, or does he switch back?
Surely not. You gotta switch.
Yep. So basically, he gave up 40% of the Orisa ultimate.
One of the most important in the game.
But you gave up 40% of that ult to get out Barrage and get out Amp Matrix. So you really, in a way,
that's the transaction.
You traded 50% of your ultimate, because if they don't go back and touch, they don't use those ultimates. So you use the Wrecking Ball to go back and get a touch. You essentially get them to use two ultimates now.
Well, sound barrier in this fight. Janu might be sitting up for a big Gravitic Flux, but doesn't have a target to fire on. Drops down with the accretion, and Huxal gets two from the barrage. Three. Is that enough with Janu helping out? I'd say it is. And the drop down of the Mei hero, Hydration on the low ground. He just can't keep things going quickly enough. Big Goose knocked onto the high ground, and that's it. I mean, Fire have been dominant on this map for both teams.
Oh yeah, and we take a look from Haxal's POV. Yet again, as the players come up in the sky.
We forced an early ice block as well.
Gravitic Flux, and then the barrage from up above, as they can't really pay attention to him because of all the damage that Bastion's putting down. So they get a stun on a Johnny to open it up.
Somehow it gets alive. Shawfall's trying to push it. Oh man, the immortality field. That's clutch from Twilight. What a series he's had. Okay, Solminsu hits the air shot twice in a row. Can't be a fluke then. Big Goose trying to push in, living dangerously. Through the amplification.
They can't go out to finish these kills off because of the Amp Matrix.
Solminsu's right there, he's just going to gun him down. Doesn't work for the man, the Bastion causing so many problems. Roar on the high ground, another amplification matrix would be definitely the winner here on this next point, but that immortality field from Twilight.
And they sound barrier this. The Gladiators, they want to fight this bad. Sherpur on the McCree now will take out Haxal, but you just had Void and Big Goose get the effects of that sound barrier.
I mean, again, if he can get close enough to this Bastion, maybe he can do something if he pairs up with Void here. Pressuring Janu. Janu makes himself more vulnerable to McCree by being up in the air, but Void's dead when he drops here. Yeah, 100%. He's down. Janu now flanking around, trying to find Big Goose. Just needs a bit of AoE splash from those Hyperspheres, but couldn't find the kill. Doesn't really matter, though, because Raw was caught up in that corner. Credit to Shawfall. He did a very good job staying alive as long as he did in that fight.
And the one kill that he gets on Haxal forces him off of Doom. Forces him off of Fargo's Doom. So now he'll switch over back to Reaper. Now if you're the Gladiators, can you get 1, 2 stops, have them reset some of their ultimates by having players switch? You'd probably have to switch Slime off of the Mercy, and you'd probably have to switch both your supports, maybe get a Moira in play. Reaper as well. I mean, this would be a big stop for the Gladiators. It would send 3 players back to resetting their ultimates.
Solminsu maybe hoping that the Gladiators were going to push him, but with the Batiste instead of the Lucio, that's not really in the game plan for the Gladiators. They don't want to have to get too aggressive here. They want to play safe around these corners. Solminsu, okay, took him a while to realize he was getting hit by Shawfall, but Twilight sets it up with that immortality field before the fight begins. Slime gets the resurrect here. Solminsu, but oh dear! The Titans get run over awfully quick. Kinetic Grass, nom nom nom, thank you very much. Enough shielding for Void to finish the job.
It's a really nice Mei wall that comes in from Hydration, launches Solminsu up into the sky, and he's not able to shoot through the Amp Matrix. So this is the switches I was talking about. They switch Slime, Twilight, and Solminsu. Big Goose will make a change over to Lucio, but switching those 3 players You're still building ultimates here for Hydration. He'll have a Blizzard. You think Blizzard is able to win you at least one fight? Gravitic Flux. You'll start to build up towards another Coalescence. You have a slight window of an advantage here for the Gladiators, but that slight window may result in them having a better time bank.
Let's see if Doomfist for Haxal can't find an early kill. Okay, Blizzard after the hold, that's devastating. You're not getting out of that.
Yeah, the Blizzard's a fight win. I mean, especially in these small chokes.
Well, I mean, they halted them as well for that.
So off of the Blizzard, what have they got? So they're going to get close to the Coalescence. You probably have dueling Coalescences here, but you have the Gravitic Flux from Void. Like I mentioned, just having that small advantage, getting them to switch off is now going to give them a really good chance of finishing with a better time bank, or potentially winning the map here.
1 minute 39 and counting for the Titans. They try and close in on a map completion at the very least. Otherwise, this will be an even series heading into the 5th.
Hydration goes to Doomfist now, so it has the ability for those one-shot KOs.
The whole setup, Hydration got knocked down as mutual between the two Doomfists. Void trying to go for the Gravitic Flux. Couldn't find a kill completion there, but Slime is taken down by Big Goose and the Titans. I mean, they're going to have to commit to this one. They're hanging around despite losing their Lucio.
They can wait. They have time. You can back out here if you're Vancouver. I mean, you're going to be like a one-fight territory, but you'd rather get a full use of everything your team's got here. So you'll have the Supercharger plus Gravitic Flux. This will force Big Goose to use Sound Barrier probably a little bit earlier.
Here comes Janu, straight forward. Void immediately eliminated, but Shorefall's going to be able to get a Death Blossom in the middle of it. Janu, Kinetic Grasp, keeps him alive, but not for long enough. Shorefall's eventually able to run him down, and Tizzy is missing! This has gone wrong for the Vancouver Titans in every way. Solminsu has a Death Blossom, but he may as well save it just to try and finish the map. The Gladiators are going to have more time one way or another.
And Janu dies there before he can get off his Gravitic Flux, which it may end up helping them out in a way as the Sound Barrier comes in from Big Goose. If you can get a use of that Sigma ultimate plus Coalescence, you may be able to push it to the end.
I mean, the Titans have everything they really need, Matt. They technically shouldn't lose this fight purely based on old economy. So the Gladiators get aggressive, they come forward, they've already got Haxal! The Titans needed him so badly. They get the Coalescence to come through, at least get rid of the enemy Doomfist though, and a Death Blossom from Solminsu yields one, and then a second after the fact, the Hellfire shotguns firing away. 3 kills for Solminsu. And he'll get a 4th here. Finally, the Titans come up with it, but you better hope they would with all the ultimates they brought in.
They just had a lot of ultimates to combo there at the end, but you can see what the Gladiators wanted to do. They did not want to switch to a mirror Bastion comp to break that. Would have reset all of their ultimates, switching back there towards the end. They wanted to get a hold there in the final chokes. We'll see how overtime goes after this.
We've been here before. I've seen the Gladiators come into rounds on Rialto while being behind, but the Gladiators looked really good on their attack, man. They break down the Bastion face-off, Hydration goes absolutely mental, and they finish the map with, you know, a minute 40 on the clock, so they get a time extension up to 2:17 here.
I like this from the Gladiators on D. They come out with the Bastion setup. You're like, well, why? They pretty much got a hold with no time left. They're not really playing the long game. They have the better time advantage. You can waste so much time in this Bastion shield wall war here. With a minute to go, you kind of take the odds in the case that, hey, we extend this to a 45-second fight for the cart. We win it. We pretty much have won the map, considering where the payload would be at the time. So you like the strategy here from the Gladiators on defense.
Oh, wow. Shaw was able to pick up Haxal there. Slime. Oh, nope.
It's a really good call from the Gladiators. You don't know whether it's the coaching for this type of scenario or the players adjusting on the fly, knowing the clock, but regardless, it is a very good call here from the Gladiators to come out with this on D.
Haxal.
Because now they have to move up. How do you move up here into this?
Where's Haxal's angle going to be? Kind of has to challenge Hydration, but that wastes time. In the meantime, the rest of his team's shields are getting battered and broken. Not an easy conundrum to fight your way out of. So M-Matrix coming out first. Oh! Beautiful from Hydration, and that's just a flex if I've ever seen one. Drops in on Huxal, gets the barrage kill, and the LA Gladiators, that is quite a solid hold on defense here. Rialto, it's looking real good.
It's a great defensive setup for the circumstances. A minute on the clock, and what happens? They move the payload up a little bit, the Titans, and that's actually probably the worst thing that happened to them there, is because moving the payload and then losing the fight, they have to just keep moving forward onto the bridge. You have the Bastion damage, the Pharah damage, being able to knock players off to the side. We can take a look at it from Hydration's POV, but there's really nothing the Titans can do here.
Oh, that's so clever. Ah! As the amplification,
he knows players are going to be set up
as well.
behind it, yeah.
That's brutal, completely outplayed.
And now where the payload is, I mean, this is
it's like 20 meters in game.
You're going to probably see the Bastion here for the Titans on defense. Do the Gladiators run the Bastion of their own, or do they try something a little bit different? Just like how I mentioned, it's a real clock drainer, this Bastion set up on defense for the offense. We're still not in a scenario where this is an easy win for the Gladiators. Same thing could happen. They could get stalled out with the payload on the bridge, need like a full reset. It could be very tough.
But it feels like to me from what we've seen that Hydration's able to get more success out of both the attack and defensive positions as far as you saw what he did last time against the setup from Vancouver. They need to be ready for a flanking barrage from Hydration once he builds it up.
I mean, both Pharahs have had a really strong game, but Hydration with those barrages on offense was very good for the Gladiators. So the Bastion shield war mirror yet again.
Oh man! Look at this intense gameplay.
But
these guys are sweating.
Someone's who's so low, some extra damage that comes down. So they get rid of Chance's immortality, but Hydration is coming.
What? No barrage? No problem, says Hydration. He goes for the flank anyway.
But the Batiste out of the question is huge, Mitch.
Just get some kills. They've got to contest the card, and they can't. Oh yeah, the Gladiators have that one figured out from top to bottom. They knew they'd throw the Pharah in there, disrupt them, move the card. Eventually, the Titans have to drop down and contest. If you take the Bastion's attention for long enough, you can make progress.
You could not move out into space there if you're Vancouver. Getting rid of the Batiste is huge there early on, as no immortality field for the Titans to use up on the high ground, as that is a beautiful barrage.
That's a blender, baby.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Los Angeles Gladiators, they bounced back on Rialto. It was their choice, and I think we saw why. They had an excellent understanding of how to play the very interesting Bastion v Bastion face-off with Faraz playing off angles and hydration. I mean, you have to think this guy's got a natural advantage, man. He's not prone to, you know, emotion, doesn't show it, doesn't tell, just cool, calm, collected. He and Shawfall both uniquely like that.
Yeah,
it definitely helps on a stage like this.
A lot of good chemistry with each other. You know, they're playing with each other for a while now. As Li Sheng Tower will be the next map. Something interesting as well is if you remember back to Danny's hit, I believe during is either the pre-match or watch point where he was talking about the Vancouver Titans and speaking with Harsha and how he thought it was very interesting how the Gladiators are rotating players in, especially, you know, hydration to the off-tank role. We have not seen any of that today. They have stayed with this consistent lineup. We'll see if these Symmetras are legit or if they're just to get to the point faster. It is just to get to the point faster.
The setup here now. They won't be going out with it. Maybe we see it on Night Market, perhaps. Still risky though when there are Reapers hunting for the squishy Symmetras. Void playing off for the recipes. Oh, what a quick accretion. Nice hit. I think he would rather have hit Solmin Su with that one though. Solmin Su's able to get onto the point and start fighting. And yeah, with Raw and Shawfall now just dropping down. Not much to be done here.
They lose their Doomfist first. It's really difficult to engage and be the aggressor when you lose Doomfist, who's really the catalyst for all of that. So Haxall hits hydration, I believe, with a punch. Takes him right out the beginning of the fight. So it'll be the Titans who control the point here first.
Two has the option to push up here a little bit to try and wrap around, but it's unlikely he'll really drop down until the Gladiators engage. Not super aggressive as an individual. He just likes to play behind his shield mostly and deal with people dropping in, but he wasn't able to help there. Hydration gets a kill, but Haxall gets rid of Shawfall. That may benefit the Titans that little bit more.
Haxall was able to get 2 kills, able to keep this going. Oh. That'll be 3 for Haxall. The Meteor Strike coming on down, and that'll be where it is. He gets taken out there.
Oh, the combo just looked good there from Haxall, but that kill wasn't quite enough. The Gladiators are able to fight back even after losing.
Vancouver, first fight. Haxall goes in, gets a pick, they win it. Hydration comes in, next fight, gets that first pick off for the Gladiators.
Both
they
players
end
have
up
4
winning.
final blows. Coincidence? I think not.
So you can see the impact that Doomfist has. It is really kind of feast or famine on how your Doomfist
there it is. He doesn't get a pick. How does this fight go, Matt? You don't have to roll your magic 8 ball for this one. You should know.
Lessons as well.
Sound barrier used. Wow. Okay. Titans are going for this one here. Guess they felt they needed it now. It's going to be the drop down for the Gravitic Flux. And Haxall, the shield was so conveniently placed for him. He just ducks behind Tizzy's barrier and lets the rest of his team finish the fight for him. Brilliant.
So far, we're 3 for 3 on this point. If your Doomfist gets that first pick off, you're looking pretty good. But a lot of ultimates used during that. Shad's going to be close to a Coalescence here coming up shortly. So you'll have Coalescence with the Supercharger, Meteor Strike if you get into some trouble here for hydration.
Okay, this is aggression now for the Gladiators. They are propelling themselves forward, speed boost. Haxall almost won in the early kill there. Shad's going to go down. Nicely done by Shawfall, though. It's a 2-kill death loss, and Haxall needs to find a pick in the back. Nope, he realizes by the time he drops down, it's already done.
Just have Slime on the point. It's actually a really good fight for the Gladiators. Although the percentage ticks up to 72 here, for the Titans, they hold on to their Coalescence in Supercharger. Just the aggression that comes from the side. They jumped on them so fast. Did not expect the aggression to come that quick from the Gladiators, but were able to jump in, take the fight to the Titans.
Jazz Coalescence to start it off here, trying to make it costly for the Titans to push up and they get the prize they were looking for. But both Doomfist trade out here. Janu is very low though. Jazz backs away, but the later Coalescence might be the better one. Maybe it would have been if Shawfall hadn't dealt with Solmin Su so deftly before the fight began. This should be the Gladiators just sitting comfortably for another fight.
That'll be a boot from Big Goose on a Twilight. Forces that fade out early. As Haxall comes in, the Gravitic Flux now in play here from Void.
Haxall's dead. He drops down. Void got him. Just enough damage to get him over the line. Very nice look from the Gladiators there, and the Titans still committed. They had players coming back in. They had the Coalescence duel. No results came of that.
And you know what I like with that Gravitic Flux from Void is Haxall goes in and then Seismic slams to get back out, knows where he's going to land and uses the Gravitic Flux right on the spot the Doomfist is going to land, knows he's weak and it'll result in a kill.
Johnny rolls on in. Looking pretty haggard though, I must say. Haxel already goes down to short four. He's got 8 final blows for this round, and that'll do it. Lovely work for the LA Gladiators, and they put it together. Shaky first fight, a little bit of back and forth. You know, you sort of mentioned they were feeling like they were rising and falling off the back of hydration, but short four, the second half of the round, he looked excellent.
It was really the fight where they just needed to use Death Blossom and the Meteor Strike to win it, and they're able to hold on to Coalescence to match the Coalescence that Twilight was going to have, and they also held on to Supercharger. That was the fight that really pushed the Gladiators over the line. It's going to be a real swing map in our series. They could push the Titans to the brink of going down to the loser bracket. Both. This is a point where you could see Symmetra. A lot of teams are using Symmetra to teleport out to save the speed boost, to combo both of them to get even faster. But you'll see both teams decide to switch, one team to Rick or one team to the
It's
Duke.
riskier, right? I feel like both of these teams are more likely to play something a little closer to standard.
Yep. Atlanta ran the Symmetra here. Baby, they ran it. They looked really good. They were able to get that point control early.
But every time he peeked ahead of a shield, he got blown up. That's the complicated part. Vancouver have better position to begin that fight. It shows now as they clean on up.
They'll be able to get control. The point is the Gladiators just gonna get together here, wait for everybody to spawn up, but Haxel does a ton of work in that first fight. Hydration dying really early.
It's that first pick.
Getting virtually no damage down. It puts him really far behind.
Yeah, I mean, and getting an ultimate as Doomfist means you can play more aggressively, and the ultimate can get you out of danger. That makes a huge difference to the mindset of a Doomfist player. You can go for those bigger plays. It opens up bigger opportunities where you won't immediately be punished for a positioning error. Shortfall sneaks into the backside of the point. Very quick fade from Twilight. Goes for the Coalescence here. Shortfall's going to teleport in again. How many times are they going to be ready for this? Twilight sees him again. Coalescence is still active though, but Shortfall's fine. He's not under threat. The Titans can't afford to pay him any heed right now. They know he can just escape. So they turn, they face down Roar and Slime. Who flanks the flankers?
Yeah, and it's not Haxel who gets kills with the Meteor Strike, but it's yet another good combo with the Halt and the Meteor Strike there. Janu is the one who ends up picking the kills off the back of it. We see the position there from Surefour. A lot of the times the Gladiators, we saw it a lot on Rialto, they were able to get some good flanks in, whether it be Hydration or Surefour, and make an impact. The Titans, they don't really turn. They try and fight in the right up in front, because that'll be a Halt into the Gravitic Flux. That'll result in a kill on a Hydration.
Yeah, and it might be enough. Still with a sound barrier committed to this fight. You know, the Gladiators, they know they have to get something going here. But they haven't even made any progress, and this lets Haxel just do the rounds back and forth through the front line and take attention off Solmin Su.
What they were hoping there is that they would answer sound barrier for sound barrier. That if the Gladiators showed some aggression with sound barrier and push forward, the Titans may react and use the sound barrier of their own.
It didn't work,
and then you have it for your Gravitic Flux out here in the open, but it did not work, like you mentioned. And they still have that sound barrier.
I mean, the percentage for the Gladiators is pretty low now without support ultimates, and the Vancouver Titans have saved theirs. There is really just not much at all. Ooh, the back cap, very cheeky. Shortfall gets on there. Chaz with the Coalescence now in this fight, but they lost Raw, so again, they're going to lose the point. Questions if they can stall it for long enough to maybe get something going. Shaz actually gives Slime the big slurp. The Titans are back to the point now. With overtime ticking down, Hydration needs to get there. He can't touch. We're all going to drop on as well. Again, it's only a couple players here for the Gladiators now. This Meteor Strike needs to find a kill. It doesn't, and that's going to make life much harder now as there are no healers to keep the Gladiators alive. Shortfall will drop on. Can he find one? It's tough in these situations, 1v6 to get something going, but that's how these comebacks happen. But today it's not to be. Not on that round, not on Night Market.
No, really good play from Slime and the Vancouver Titans, knowing that the sound barrier from Big Goose was really just to try and induce some kind of panic, force some ultimates out from the Titans. They do not take the bait there. Even if they were to lose that fight, you still have sound barrier coming in for your next fight. You had a Coalescence as well, so you're still in a very good spot. The Titans win that round, so we'll have one more round here on Lijiang Tower. Swing game in the series to put somebody on match point.
Yeah, and don't forget who chose this one as well. Titans obviously opting to try and go to Lijiang to keep themselves in it.
5, 4,
It'll probably be a Symmetra teleport forwards again, unlikely. I mean, the way the point is shaped, you can get a lot of value out of the projected barrier, but it's not really reasonable to expect Solmin Su to switch off the Reaper at this point. Haxel gets to the point first. A little ahead of his Orisa, so he drops back and lets Tizzy get the barrier down.
So Titans opt to take the fight from the right side, where the Gladiators go over the bridge and take the point.
Haxel would have fallen off if he actually didn't come forward with that seismic slam mat. But he's able to find a kill off the backside at Shore4. Now it's a trade out, but hey, look, it's 2 for 1 essentially as far as the fight's concerned, and that is the perfect beginning for Vancouver. Look at this Coalescence now, 85% for Twilight. If they can get that early enough in this next fight, Shaz might not have a chance to use it.
And so, you know, the healing between these two Moiras is about even, actually. Shaz leads in the healing. It's just the extra damage that Twilight has, which puts him over the top in terms of always having those Coalescence faster, it seems like. So now the Gladiators, they'll attack from the inside area, not going over towards bridge side.
All right, so that Coalescence comes out first. Can Shaz stay alive long enough to get his own? Yes, he is. That's big. Hydration doesn't land the rocket punch here, but he's got plenty of healing at his back to keep him moving forward right now, and Dizzy has seen better days. Meteor Strike, try and deal with Soul Minsu in the back. Drops it, oh, clever! Tries to drop it down on top of Haxel's there to get a guaranteed kill while there was still an animation for the Doomfist to get out of as he tries to break free. Doesn't get the kill, but the idea was very good. It'll still finish him later on. Soul Minsu is down. 50% though going over to Vancouver, so a very nice little initial buffer for the Titans here on the decide round.
And I believe Hydration gets the kill there on Ajanu during the Gravitic Flux. Didn't see that ultimate actually go off a channel, so pretty big kill there from Hydration. Is now the Gladiators take the point already. 50% is Big Goose. Trying to lurk. You know they came to play once before. Oh, he could be in trouble.
He's still trying to go for it!
Oh, they try and get a halt into the boop yet again. Doesn't work.
We saw that on Kings Road.
Yeah.
Happened early this series. Almost worked out then. Little set plays happening all over the map, but that one didn't work out and lost their Lucio. He'll be back quickly though, but not quickly enough to keep Shore4 out of danger. Christian finished from Johnny on towards the Reaper. Soul Minsu was also lost to one of Vancouver Titans. Are going to commit the sound barrier now. That means Haxel has to get some big kills in the next few moments, but he's cut down by Shaz. The Titans commit a sound barrier, and it still doesn't work out. Shaz with the Coalescence coming up clutch.
You know, Coalescence for a while as an ultimate. Didn't really feel that all impactful. You had some more shields in. You can't figure out how to heal anybody or put damage on through them. Now it feels really strong. So the Coalescence used from Shaz here to get a win. They actually get a stun there on the Twilight. It's coming across. Not enough damage to finish him off.
The problem for Haxel is that, I mean, neither Twilight or Slime are overly long-range healers, right? So as the fight breaks down, Haxel's in the enemy backline. He can't really get killed by Twilight.
Awesome here.
Go for it. Wow, that was not very subtle. No dice there. The Titans are able to boop him back. Good attention there, paid by Slime. Haxel drops in. That's unbelievable, really. Gets a Meteor Strike kill on a Moira who could really just fade away once she sees the aura around her. I guess perhaps it was on cooldown. Either way, the fact that you even try and go for a Moira with that ability is astonishing. Huge fight.
It's a halt from Tizzy, who sets that Meteor Strike up yet again. Potentially, Shaz did not have the fate available, so...
Or it was just one that was unable to.
Coming into the next fight. Gladiators, do you view this as an all-in, right? Do you want to end up getting the Sound Barrier Coalescence, layering both, using both? I think personally, I think you almost have to in this scenario. You lose this fight, it's going to be like 99 when you get back.
You open with Coalescence, you duel them out. Sound Barrier afterwards here, probably keep an eye on those health bars. Okay, Big Goose did not get many people with that Sound Barrier at all, Matt. That didn't really come up the way he needed it to at all, whereas Slime gets everybody, at least that was standing. So Soul Minsu gets to pirouette through the air in the most murderous dance I've seen. And that looks real good for the Vancouver Titans. Now the Gladiators, they may get a touch, but it will be very difficult. The Sound Barrier was so much better for Slime. Here comes the push, it won't be quick enough. And the Titans fire back here in the 5th map to make it 3-2.
As Big Goose gets booped trying to go through the window, but Haxel with a pick on the Void while he's using his Gravitic Flux. Didn't get anything out of that ultimate. Haxel with another good Doomfist game. 42 limbs, 23 final blows to move Vancouver to game point.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Meteor Strike.
It's been a back and forth affair in this one, and it looks like we might be going the distance. It's the Vancouver Titans up 3-2 over the Gladiators at the break. Welcome back, everybody. Vancouver just made an epic comeback on Lijiang Tower, and that means that Monty has the advantage in our prediction score between him and Brent.
What a surprise.
Monty, you picked Vancouver. Brent, you felt the Gladiators were going to cause the upset today and lock in a spot in the winner's bracket finals. How are you feeling about your teams right now?
I said on the pre-show today that the way the Gladiators win this is winning early, because I feel like the longer this series goes on, the Titans are going to really figure out their style, and so far that has been coming to fruition. So in terms of confidence, it's waning a little bit. It is waning because the Titans, I feel like they're heating up a little bit, and they are figuring out the Gladiators bits and bobs at a time.
Monty, tell me about your team as we take a look at their first victory here, because it started on Anubis, and this was their map pick. It looked like they had a game plan, and they executed it.
I mean, we've seen, at least in other metas, that the Titans have looked extremely strong on Temple of Anubis, and they're comfortable when they play the vertical game on point A. It usually has been with Genji. This time it's going to be with the Doom Fist instead, but they looked very tight. And consistently throughout this series, especially on these control maps, they've been doing a good job of driving that wedge between the tanks and supports and making sure the healing isn't coming through onto the front lines of the Gladiators.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of adaptation that we were really looking for from the Titans as well, and seeing how they would deal with the aggression of the Gladiators. So far, it's been going very well. I mean, it's been here and there. Sometimes it's been missed, especially on moments like here on Rialto, where, I mean, you see these individual plays. This is almost a full hold, actually, from the Titans. But Hydration, key moment where he just takes himself out of the game for a moment, realizes there's an opening, and just goes for it. Those kind of moments are what really wins you games in all of these moments.
And I asked our production team to only put together highlights from the Faras on Rialto.
And it was because both Haksal and Hydration were so spectacular on this hero. They were causing a lot of damage with the barrages, and they had nearly identical statistics, too, throughout this match. And it played out as well in the fact that we went into the time bank. It was a very, very close match overall. I mean, look at this right now. Final blows very similar. Barrage kills exactly the same. Few more rocket direct hits, same amount of deaths. But time played higher for Haksal. So Hydration was doing it with a little bit less time on the hero overall.
As an individual player, Hydration has been impressing me as well. I mean, not many players can drop in between, you know, the tank role and the damage dealing role so fluently, so effectively as Hydration has. You do have to, you know, applaud him for that. But the question is now, moving forwards, are Gladiators going to be able to keep running with the same strategy that they've been doing, which is this high tempo, high aggression? Because Titans, especially as we saw on Lijiang, are really starting to figure it out.
Let's take a look at Lijiang, because I was expecting more fire play. You just won with it if you were the Gladiators. You're looking strong, but it was all Reaper and Fisty time.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to point out as well is how well the Titans are dealing with it in terms of just kiting. What I mean by kiting is whenever the aggression comes out from the Gladiators, they recognize it and they can play backwards. Haksal here, key pickup there onto Shaz. I mean, it's stuff like this where they just know the openings and when to take them.
I mean, the damage dealers are doing a great job of shutting down Shaz and Big Goose, and I think that's been the reason why we see the Titans up a map in this series. It has been close, but over time, we're going to have to see the Gladiators do a better job of defending their supports against the Titans DPS players.
It just doesn't really play into the way they like to play, you know. I don't want to call the Gladiators a one-trick pony, They're more like a two-trick pony.
Multiple tricks.
I wouldn't say multiple tricks. The Titans, they're like a field of ponies, but the Gladiators, they're getting there with 2 as it stands. But they do need to throw something else into the mix to keep the Titans on their toes. Otherwise, I feel like this series might be going the way of the Titans.
Well, the teams just found out the map pick is in. Remember, this is the Gladiators who are going to choose our next map.
I hope they didn't pick Numbani.
We're going to Eichenwald. Will we see more Farah? And is that enough to get a Game 7?
Potentially. I mean, Hydration's been having a great game against Haxel. And I mean, again, you've got to get it up to the guy because Haxel, he's no slouch on that one roll. But Farah is something that you can't run for the entirety of Eichenwald. But we have seen some good stuff from Gladiators on that map in particular. So they are coming out with some set plays. They are coming out with set strategies. We'll see if it's enough. I'm not too sure, though.
Monty, are we going to Game 7, or is this done for your Vancouver Titans?
I think it's done.
It
would have been
more
done if it had been Numbani, because even though we did see the Titans finally lose on that map, I think the Farah play would have come out in the Titans' favor on Numbani.
I think it's going to be done.
I think it's done.
Next map.
All right, well, guys, next map is coming up. Before we go, I got to hear from you. Blizzard Arena, we're only here 5 more days. Make some noise for your Gladiators. They need your love in a big Game 6 after this. Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Overwatch League. On the other side of this game break, that's right, we've seen 5 maps in this series already. So the Vancouver Titans able to fight back on Lijiang Tower, which was their pick. And now we head to Eichenwald. It seems like, Matt, our experts weren't too confident about the Gladiators bouncing back in this map.
No, I mean, I think you can still play, like, if you want to play the Farah here, I think you can. I think the Gladiators have looked very good here against the Titans. I think, like Bonzi said, you know, the Titans have made some adjustments. They've kind of started to figure out how the Gladiators like to play this. So we'll see if the Gladiators come back with any adjustments of their own. As I see, if they were to be able to take Eichenwald, we could get a decider Game 7.
And again, when we talk about adjustments, we talk a lot about the Reapers and the Doomfists in the start of these fights, right? Early on in the series, Shawfall was getting a lot done. He was able to shut Haksal down. He was always waiting for Haksal to push in. He knew where he'd come from. Now the Titans have just dialed it back a little bit. And they're keeping a Doomfist alive just a bit longer. It's a 5-1 map record here for the Titans, as you'd expect, because they've lost, like, I don't know, less than 10 maps this season. Not quite, but
they rarely lose. So not going to see many maps where you're like, oh, we have a huge advantage against Vancouver here, because they've been good on a lot of the maps throughout the regular season. That's a punch from Hydration that connects on Janu, so maybe that buys him some space to move through the choke, which it looks like it does.
And that's big. Gladiators don't sustain any casualties in getting to the point. Haksal will need a bit of a top-up on healing. Oh, Hydration. It's just Tizzy. Burn him down awfully fast. But Haksal does trade out there for Shawfall. Even though he was healed after he went in. Tizzy does well to stay alive as long as he does, but Big Goose is hungry. He's out for the kills. With a Coalescence coming in a bit earlier, that's going to help the Gladiators push the Titans off. I mean, that Moira ult % difference is huge there.
Yeah, that's, you're able to get that Coalescence. You'll take the point first. Very interesting adjustment there from Somansu. So when Hydration went in, got the punch, got the uppercut, as soon as Somansu sees that, he teleports into the backline, and he waits for the weak Hydration to come back into the backline. That's how they've been trying to pick up Hydration now in this series. So what they've done is they made the adjustment to tracking Surefour a little bit better with Haksal, and then Somansu now going into the backline trying to meet Hydration when Hydration's weak.
Spot about now. Hydration playing under the bridge, hoping someone would drop down and get an easy rocket punch into the wall across the way. Somansu playing from the top there. Not sure if they've seen him in here because he's going to drop in now. A lot of ultimates thrown at this by the Titans already. Coalescence, Gravitic Flux. They'll get Big Goose. Raw in a bit of trouble now. Taking a ton of damage. They've caught Haksal though. That's the second time.
You fight this if you're the Gladiators. I mean, you have your own Gravitic Flux now. You have Coalescence. They're going to invest a supercharger into this as well. But
oh my gosh!
I mean, they're in a perfect position to win this.
And Vancouver look awful on this map so far.
I think that was maybe a little bit of an overcommitment from Vancouver at the beginning of that. What? That Gravitic Flux, you didn't really need to use it that time. You still had to use the supercharger first, keep them out in open space with the Coalescence.
What is giving you the confidence to spend all those ultimates? You only have 2 kills. None of your DPS players have any final blows.
I do think they wanted to hold there at the choke. It's pretty hard to break through that with the Reaper Doom.
Shawfall there. Eye is going wide now as he's presented with a plethora of potential targets. Sound barrier on the Titans made it a little bit harder now, and he'll just walk it off. Back to spawn now for most of the Gladiators, and Shawfall probably will follow.
Yep, they know exactly where he is. Still die up here on the high ground. So the Titans, hear the gun, they do get a team kill here. See where they decide to play on defense. They want to play over by the castle, they want to push up, they want to play by the bridge. They probably want to play up. Not really a lot of great Doomfist opportunities over on the bridge to connect with those rocket punches and those one-shot combos.
It always seems like at least one of the Moira players has Coalescence. Both will have it in the next fight. Pretty even on ult percentage, with the exception of Janu being ahead.
Very sure we're trying to go through. It looks like he's coming around on the flank through the castle. May show up on your screen teleporting behind you in a second.
And look at that though, Raw just like plowed into the front line of the Titans. With this Fortify up, but Hydration goes a little bit too far. He gets caught out now. Gravitic Flux, Raw. I mean, if Raw hadn't dropped there, he would have dropped just after. Janu gets Big Goose and Void is put on his rear end. Again, the Titans have a chance to stabilize here, but they are spending equally into these fights as the Gladiators are, so they're not really getting a huge rolling advantage in ultimates.
I think coming up for the Gladiators, she'll have a little bit of an advantage. Gravitic Flux, Supercharger, Meteor Strike. In the close area, you just need to force out the Titans into open space. The way they would do that is put the pressure on the payload. So,
I mean, Flux and Meteor Strike is almost a guaranteed kill, at least one.
Yeah.
But they'll push in and try and get some of that ultimates first. Hydration got a little bit caught in between the play there.
Oh, where?
And Void, oh dear. Looks like Void took himself down, Matt. And that's what actually happened there. The Hyperspheres spreading the damage.
I mean, Sigma does take damage with his primary fire to himself. So, yeah, you imagine that's what happened there.
Do you want to stand next to implosions?
Could have also got booped into the...
no, his corpse is actually on the ground.
Okay. So,
just outside the door to the castle.
Did end up probably just threw it into his shield or something, hit himself with some friendly fire. So, you have another opportunity though. Halt, you do have the Halt grab Gravitic Flux Coalescence combo is they're starting to move the payload on the bridge. They do exactly that. They get caught right into the Gravitic Flux.
Death Blossom as they drop down from it. Gonna be a Coalescence though there. Silver drops down. Sominsu's looking to do one better, and he has. He's gotten 3 kills. How you just chase Raw down? He can't escape. This is starting to get a wee bit problematic for the LA Gladiators.
The Gladiators had an advantage there. Well, moving over onto the bridge here, able to dictate some of the pace in terms of ultimates because the Titans have to be spenders because they need to hold here. Yeah. They've not been able to get anything going. Now you're just looking at Sound Barrier, a minute to go. Are you even going to get anything else? Like, well,
it's bad because it gives you an answer to the Gravitic Flux if Big Goose gets it off, but then you have to deal with the supercharge from Tizzy. Oh, there it is, Surefall. Big Goose still get the Sound Barrier off in mid-air then, so another drop to the ground to get used to that ultimate. But here comes that supercharger, that's what we're afraid of, and Hydration is already down. Haxel now gets to it, Tizzy sends him over the edge! I guess, the induction pack for LA Gladiators doesn't always provide life jackets.
You may get another fight here though. 30 seconds left, both teams, no ultimate, so you can take a look at Tizzy landing a halt off the side. Everybody playing over by the bridge, you just throw one off. It's
those kind of kills,
really easy.
The ones that don't require ultimates and are just, eliminating players 100-0 environmentally, are big swing plays. There's 13 seconds left in the round, and the LA Gladiators are going to have to rely on a Coalescence and a Dream.
They're going to wrap high ground here to try and get a touch of the cart. So buy them time to get some ultimates. Also move the cart forward.
They've got to stand near both teams, making sure they remain close enough to the cart to either push it forward or arrest its progress. Dueling Coalescences now. This is not where you want to lose a Doomfist player. Hydration very low.
You gotta heal on this. It seems like Shaz is trying to put down some damage. Hydration got so low.
Oh, they're low! They're so low! But Twilight, it goes down. Big Goose was able to find him. Shaz playing for the back of the cart. They're trying to stay safe and give that healing. Raw and Tizzy are traded out. Gravitic Flux from Void. Does he catch anyone with it? Well, not quite. There was a Sound Barrier there. Haxel gets hit with a rocket as soon as it comes down, but Janu and Haxel team up. 5 kills between the two of them, and that will do it. That may have been the last attacking push for the LA Gladiators in this match. And they're going to have to hope it was enough.
Almost get to take point B, but the Sound Barrier from Slime too strong there at the end to push through, get the damage on through. We'll see Gladiators defense after this.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at cokestore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
Well, this bridge here on Eichenwald has always been one of the most perilous parts of the map, especially now. So many ways to displace your foes, whether it is a Creation, a Halt, a Boop, you name it, it's there. The Gladiators fell foul of a couple of those trying to get across themselves.
And it would seem like the Gladiators may have a really tough time to be able to do this on defense, but you have to remember, for the Gladiators, you basically took point A right away. I mean, non-existent defense from the Titans. Titans not able to play close. They just have a tremendous hold on the bridge. So if you're the Gladiators, you get a few stops here before point A, get a few stops right at the gate. You can make this hold happen.
There's potential for it here for the Gladiators. We saw what they did on Rialto. This is not catered to Bastion in the same way this map.
And obviously, both teams in this series want to win this, go on to the winners finals. Both teams also, as the John who gets the first pick there on a hydration, do not want to lose this because the loser of this plays the San Francisco Shock. So you have to always remind, you have that
could be a death
your mind as well.
Yeah, in and of itself.
No doubt.
Oh, this is bad for the Gladiators, Matt. They're getting rolled out. Big Goose and Shortfall trying to hold things down, but they can only do it for so long. Only three players, actually. Hydration's just returned here to help the Gladiators. Not really enough, though, to deal with his onslaught. The Titans are bringing 4 Vancouver players on the point. Another early capture for them. And just one more part of the map to push through if Hydration can't keep this fight going. He's down early again. Void playing from the high ground as he can. Gets Huxel with the finish, though. He's getting pushed aggressively by Slime. Is Void. Kinetic Grasp will net him a little bit more extra shield. The Titans just keep circling around this payload, using those shields from the Orisa. And it has to be stalled here for the Gladiators. Everything they have, they need to throw at making this costly for the Titans.
And let's see how the Gladiators decide to play this on defense. Do they want to push up, play at the door? It's where a lot of teams like to go put the pressure on early. See, the payload, it will take a considerable amount of time to actually get through this area of the map. So you have the opportunity as the defenders, especially the Lucio speed boost, to get back here, take a fight.
A lot of support also going to be available here. Coalescences are now out, but the line of sight wasn't there for Twilight. He couldn't see Slime, let alone heal him at that point. Gravitic Flux, but the sound barrier is going to be there. Roar is still traded out, though. They lost the Orisa. Hydration and Shortfall need to do big things here. They have to make the difference. Big accretion from Void to slow Sominsu down. And that was the stop the Gladiators needed. This is where they can start to erect some kind of defense.
Gotta be careful. Does not want to drop here to Sominsu. Sominsu will get out with his life and Death Blossom. So Sound Barrier, Death Blossom here available for the Titans. You're able to hold on to that Sound Barrier. Didn't want to burn it on that Gravitic Flux. So the Gladiators get aggressive there with their Supercharger.
They lose it straight away, though. Johnny actually throws an accretion at him just to get it out of the way. And Sominsu's Death Blossom. What looked like it could have been a good position for the Gladiators to hold in. Now it's crumbled. And they can't even play the high ground. That's not an option anymore. The payload will have moved up to at least the bridge by the time the Gladiators return, unless they're real fast.
Where do you want to take this next fight if you are the LA Gladiators? Do you want to take
it
it
at one fight territory here?
The beginning of the bridge, you almost are. Looks like they're going to go high ground here. So they want to go high ground, shouldn't drop down on the payload. In this scenario, you may get 2 fights out of this type of play.
Oh, the damage! That was a lot early on, and Big Goose gets caught out by Huxal. The Gladiators walked face first into a hold, and the Vancouver Titans were able to pick and choose their target there. Shortfall struggling to find one of his own, though. He sees Twilight, forces the fade out, and then take it down. You thought he saw Twilight there, but Twilight finishes off with a Biotic Grasp, and now it's Huxel and Sominsu to find those last couple of kills, and the hopes of Gladiators now to advance in the upper bracket are all but dashed.
And Johnny's going to have this Gravitic Flux. They're going to be coming out of the doorways here.
Big Goose has to try. It's going to actually be Raw stepping up to the plate. Sominsu was able to find Big Goose, and Johnny's going to go for a big Gravitic Flux to try and end it. No! They've lost Raw over the edge. Slime sends him packing with the boot. And the Vancouver Titans, another step towards glory. They will set themselves up. They'll be in that winners final. Whereas the Los Angeles Gladiators now have to run the gauntlet of some of the most frightening teams remaining in the Overwatch League.
I think if you're the Titans, obviously a huge win. A lot of relief, though, that you get through the LA Gladiators, who look very strong here today. You avoid potentially playing the San Francisco Shock in the lower bracket, and you advance that winner final. Well, they'll be watching the next game, awaiting the winner of NYXL Atlanta.
It was mentioned by our experts at halftime. You know, the longer this game goes, the better it's going to be for Vancouver. One of the things that really cements the Titans as a potential champion is their ability to adapt over those long series. They as a team have been in so many extremely long series in their time. But that's not to say their opponents didn't have the experience. And the LA Gladiators are going to need that now in the lower bracket. to make their way through, getting through the San Francisco shock. A Herculean feat, to say the very least. We're going to head down to the floor now with Danny and a Coke victory moment presented by Coca-Cola with Hacksaw.
Mitch and Matt, thank you very much. Everybody give it up for Haksal and Vancouver Titans. They are moving up to the winner bracket finals. Congratulations on your victory. Now, you're actually the Rookie of the Year as well. So this is your first Overwatch League and this is your first ever playoffs in Overwatch League. Do you ever feel pressured? Are you feeling the pressure right now for the playoffs, actually? 일단 아무래도 신인상을 받은 또 이번 오버워치 리그의 최고의 신인인 학살 선수님, 어떻게 보면 좀 처음 오버워치 리그이기 때문에 또 첫 번째 프로이기 때문에 좀 부담감이나 압박감 이런 걸 좀 느끼시나요?
저는 따로 압박감은 느끼지 않고, 왜냐하면 제가 지금 경력이 좀 오래돼가지고 그래서 따로 대회에 대한 압박감은 느껴지지 않아요.
I actually don't feel a lot of pressure because I do have a lot of experience on stage. I have been playing this game. I have been on stage for quite a long time, so actually I actually don't feel pressured at all. Do you ever feel pressure in your life ever? Because honestly, I don't. Every time I see you on stage or even off stage, you always seem to be always having fun and never feel pressured. So 아무래도 방금 뭐 압박감, 부담감 이런 걸 안 느끼신다고 했는데 학살 선수 그러면 뭐 태어나서 한 번도 좀 그런 걸 느껴본 적이 없나요?
저는 제일 처음에 느낀 게 그 BJ 리그라고 제가 처음으로 대회했던 때가 있었는데 그때 좀 토할 정도로 좀 그렇게 있었는데 그 이후로는 딱히 없는 것 같아요.
The first time I ever got nervous was probably the first ever league that I was part of. I remember I was very nervous and up to a point where I almost threw up. After that, I was good. All right, well, coming up next, we have the match against Atlanta Reign versus NYXL, and the winner from that match will be facing against Vancouver Titans. Haksal, who do you want to see move out and play against you guys? 자, 다음 경기인 아틀란타와 뉴욕. 거기서 이긴 팀이 이제 밴쿠버와 경기를 하게 될 텐데요. 누가 이겨서 좀 올라와서 좀 경기를 했으면 좋겠나요?
저는 뉴욕보다는 애틀랜타가 올라와 주는 게 좀 좋고, 왜냐하면 좀 새로운 상대랑도 좀 경기를 해보고 싶기 때문에 네, 애틀랜타가 올라와 줬으면 좋겠습니다.
I really hope that Atlanta takes a win today against the match between Atlanta and NYXL, just because I want to play against a new team on stage. All right, Haksal, thank you so much. Let's move on to our special award, or actually jersey, signed jersey giveaway time. Hi, what's your name? Grace. Congratulations. Here's your jersey, and you get a special hug from Haksal. 자, 포옹 한번 해주시고요. That's it. Thank you guys so much, casters. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny. Victory moment presented by Coca-Cola. We kind of talked about it, right? It was mentioned in the interview. Haksal's like, bro, I've been on stage for so long. I've been on so many of these series. I've been in multiple leagues, and this is his first eligible year in the Overwatch League. Guy's 18.
Yeah, and I mean, it has to feel good to get the win, move to the winner final, not have to play the shock. So we can take a look at where the winner bracket stands now. The Titans, they beat the Gladiators 4-2. They move on. That match will happen on Friday, and they'll play the winner of NYXL Atlanta. New York has to beat London to get there. The Reign get over the shock.
One more win to get to the grand finals for the Titans. You've got to be feeling good. The losers bracket, though, well, there's much more to be decided, right? Gladiators versus Shock, Akali clashed. We're going to go forward, and then there's still, the winner of that match goes on against, it could be Spark, could be even New York, Atlanta. Who's going to fall down in that game? We'll get to that in just a second. Here's our player of the match presented to you by Omen. For us, it had to be Twilight today. Huge when it was Batiste play, it was fantastic. His coalescences, especially on Temple of Anubis, set up such a quick push that Vancouver pretty much won the map there and then.
Yeah, I mean, his coalescences and just Moira play in general was fantastic today. He was able to build those coalescence faster than Shaz, being able to put down a lot more damage than Shaz throughout the series. And when you looked at it, Haksal and Hydration, like we saw in the Farah comparison, they play each other pretty even. Zomitsu had a few good maps, but the real difference was Twilight. Now, how many heroes do we have where you can put down 65,000 damage and almost 90k healing in a game? Don't have any others I can think of.
No, we had
about it.
Zarya during the GOATS meta, but that's about it.
Look at how much kill participation when it comes to those orbs and also coalescence. 212 limbs. That's more than we see from some damage dealers throughout the course of the series.
And he was top in damage and healing
games,
simultaneously at a few points. So big performance, real volume being put up there by Twilight, and it's what the Titans needed to see. Coming up next, though, a fateful encounter between two teams that have played each other before. In fact, the last time they played twice in quick succession. The winner was Atlanta on both occasions, and New York now have to shake the monkey off their back if they want to advance and have a shot at being there at the Grand Finals in Philadelphia. So stick around for that one. We'll be back with that right after these messages.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Did you see the game last night? Sinatra's gonna get MVP this year.
There's no way Sinatra wins MVP.
What are you talking about? Have you been watching the same
Bumper
game?
has been so clutch for the Titans, putting up insane numbers.
I think you're both wrong. Jonak, still the MVP. Also, first match starts in an hour. See you there.
The real MVP is the Yada Chad Amos.